Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Friday night, our favorite show of the week.
Yep, and it's thundering, storming.
And it's also 4th of July, so you'll probably hear some like fireworks and stuff because
no, they don't have fireworks anymore.
Yeah, but the neighbors will probably be.
Yeah, there's one neighbor that has them, but they're gonna get rained out probably.
Probably, yeah.
So I don't think there's gonna be fireworks.
It's like storming and shit.
Yeah.
Which whatever, because our Bambi really does not like.
I could jump out
fireworks.
There. I could jump out there with one of my AR-15s and just blast off a bunch of shit.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. yeah.
Already, like some motherfucker like an hour ago like set off a fairly loud firework like near the house, and poor little Bambi like ran in the bedroom. Yeah. She does like this low down to the ground like tactical.
Yeah.
Like scoot, and then like she just runs under the bed.
Yeah. But I got that blank adapter in those blanks though.
Okay, but what's the point though?
It makes noise like firecrackers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of that.
Just fun,
I don't see the point of that.
I got blanks to test builds. So I make sure recycling was good and that the fucking gas ports were all lined up. So, but I got a lot of that shit.
Yeah. I used to remember when I was a kid, we'd always go to when I lived in Daytona, we'd always go to the river to watch the fireworks, and it's like, it's kind of fun, but it's like you had to get there really early to get a good spot, and it was always hot as balls, and there was like fucking getting eaten by mosquitoes and shit like that, and it took fucking hours like for the fireworks to start because it doesn't get dark until like 9 or 9:30.
Yep.
So you'd just be like sitting out there sweating your ass off and probably getting encephalitis. You know what I mean? So it's like it wasn't really all that fun.
So it looks like people are starting to show up.
So.
Old Ressa says Toss just wants to blast off.
I mean, blast stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
CBO
I'm gonna go back to the range soon.
Well, yeah, it's not far.
Yeah.
It's like there's a range, a public range, almost exactly halfway between our house and my mom's house.
Yeah, and I went there to zero on the way to her mom's house. And said I got a couple rifles I need to zero. And that poor girl, she had to wait. She was waiting in the car for me. I said, "Don't you want to shoot?" She's like, No. She just sat in the car waiting for me to get done. I was about halfway through it and went back there, to ask her if everything was all right, and realized that she was sitting in the car and it wasn't running, no AC.
Yeah. Well,
I said, "What did the AC? Turn the AC on."
Well, you took the keys, though.
What's that?
You took the keys.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't realize. You should have come down here and said, "Turn." You should have come up to me.
I didn't think it was going to be.
Yeah, I was actually running the range. I was running the range, telling everybody to ceasefire, to go to check the fucking targets and shit. I don't know how that happened. They just looked at me and go, "Yeah, you're in charge." So, you're in charge. Well, they can see military tattoos of my build and everything. They just put me in charge of the range because there's nobody running the range.
Like I said, it's pretty small, but it's just like a public range, so
Yeah.
anybody can just use it.
Yeah, it's got a zero
You just
range.
drive up to. It's just like a little dirt lot,
Yeah, it's got a zero range where you zero. If you know what I'm talking about, that's where you regulate your sights to make sure everything's shooting on target. And then there's another part of the range where you're shooting iron targets, steel targets that go out to like probably 500 meters. And there's probably about 6-7 lanes you can get in and shoot all these targets. And you can hear them hit. That's why you want steel targets. You can hear the bullet hit, bang, so you know if you hit it. And it's free. It's just it's run by state of Florida.
Yeah, we just didn't know. Like, I guess that's the closest one to the house, but when we went to my mom's house, my brother said, "Oh, there's one only like 20 minutes from here."
Yeah.
It's like exactly halfway between.
Yeah, it's about a half hour. It's about a half hour from here.
Yeah, like it's almost exactly halfway between our house and my.
It's got bathrooms and everything.
I mean, they're pretty fucking gross.
Did you went in there?
Well, yeah, I had to.
It had running water though, didn't it?
No.
No, it's like just out. Is it like a chemical toilet?
Well, the sink didn't work. Okay. And the toilet didn't flush.
It didn't flush? Oh,
so
man.
It was basically like an outhouse, but...
Yeah. But it was supposed to flush.
I don't know.
It was a flush toilet?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay.
I just remember being disgusted and wanting to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
As quickly as possible. I was like, man, next time I'll just pee in the woods, seriously. Yeah. It's a lot cleaner.
Yeah. Easier.
That's for sure.
A lot easier.
Like, I didn't even know there was a bathroom, like, for a while, and I was sitting there for ages, and I was like, God, I gotta pee.
Looking at that from the outside, that should have had running water in there.
Well, it should have, because it looked just like a concrete structure, like a bathroom at a park. But then I went in there, I'm like, oh my God, I've seen better toilets in, like, fucking...
How much you want to bet How much you want to bet there's controls on the outside to turn on the water?
I don't know.
And somebody turned it off.
Maybe.
It's probably, you're probably just a damn faucet
it
to
was
turn
horrifying.
the water. Yep.
I was just like,
next time I go, I'll check that out.
Next time I'll hold it.
Next time I go, I'll check it out.
Or like I said, I'll just pee in the dirt. Like on the outside. Because that is gross as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. CB says Michael Madsen passed away. See, I didn't see that. That's a fucking bummer, man.
Yeah, he was old though. He had to have been.
Well, yeah, but like
he was in his 40s when I was a
bummer.
kid, so he had to have been in his 70s. So
that's still a bummer. He was so cool. I always liked him. And Zach said, "I'm still so sad Brian Wilson died." Yeah, it's like I'm,
Zach worried about the Beach Boys.
I guess it happened, but
Beach Boys should have been gone. That was a long time ago. He's lucky to have lived that long.
Zach says, when I worked at Get-Go, the sink in the thing never worked. Was one of those motion activated things, and I had to do air traffic control maneuvers just to make it trickle. Oh my god, I hate. Well, I don't usually have that. I haven't had that too much with sinks, but you know the fucking the towel dispenser, that's motion activated. Holy crap! Like I feel like such a douche. Like because most of the time you have to sit there and go. Yeah. Like to get the towel to come out. Well, I'm like, what do you have to do like to get the towel to come out?
You can just be like a man, and then once you have, you just shake your hands off, say fuck it, just walk.
Well,
out.
I mean, sometimes if it takes more than 2 seconds, I don't have any patience, and I just wipe it on my pants.
Yeah, I don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm not like
just
worried about
my hands off.
But it's like if they got a towel, I'm gonna use it. But it's like if I have to do a whole fucking song and dance like to get the shit out of there, then no, I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm not gonna fuck with it. I prefer the ones with like that have the dryers. That you can stick your hands in.
It takes too long.
Well, that's a lot more sanitary.
It takes too long.
So I don't mind that, but.
All right, so today is our Friday show, which is Sidetracks, and which is basically an open lines Friday. Any questions you have for us, we can answer. If you want to talk about any old cases that we did in the past, any other shows, if you want to ask any of our opinions on certain things, if you want to talk about certain subjects, just fucking drop a comment in the comment section. We're reading it. But we're gonna.
And I try to get to things, but sometimes, like I said, sometimes it goes too fast and I can't see them all.
Yep. So we're taking you out into the weekend, and tomorrow night we're going to the club. It's gonna be a good night.
I mean,
but today it was a lazy day today.
Yeah, it's like it's a holiday, so I didn't really have much work to do, and so I was kind of bored. Yeah. I ended up watching that fucking. French vampire movie from 1979, Fascination.
I had a bunch of leftovers. Had a really nice leftover lasagna.
Yeah, we
ate that. So I didn't even cook today. Had a pre-cooked chicken. Made chicken sandwich too, with guacamole and mayo, cheese on a bun.
That was really good.
Yeah, kind of a cheap bun. I wish I had a nicer bun for it, but
yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
You don't really eat it for the bread anyway.
Yeah. And tomorrow I'll come up with some better stuff. I'll thaw something out. I got a bunch of pork tenderloin I could use. Chicken. I could do more Thai curry. Ooh, I could do Indian curry. I got enough. I got stuff for all that.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, we'll see.
Man, it was like.
If I make curry though, man, I eat so much of it, and that shit is so fucking. That shit is addictive. You can't stop eating it. I'll make a big bunch of it because if you're gonna make it, you're gonna make a bunch of it.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, in a way, it's really cost effective because when you make it, he makes like that huge pot full.
Yeah, I make a big pot.
And we just we'll eat off it for 2 or 3 days, and then there's still some left, and he'll freeze it. Yeah. And then like a month later, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna thaw it out and like maybe put some more meat in it."
Yeah, I'll save the sauce.
Yeah, he just saves the sauce and and then it's still just as good.
Yeah. So it's all based in coconut milk.
Yeah, you get a lot of mileage.
The thing is, it's just so fattening, man.
It is, but
I gotta lose this fucking fat. I got some good drugs on order. I got some coming called T3. I got that from my underground fucking overseas. My overseas merchants are sending it to me, which gives you a better insulin response. It's real good for fucking cutting phase, and fucking burns a lot of fat off you. And when you get older like us, your insulin response isn't that good. You don't produce as much insulin, so you slowly kind of put on weight. But I take, that's just one thing I'm taking with a bunch of other stuff. All I got is like another 4 pounds to lose. If I lost 4 pounds, it would look so fucking awesome. So I'm going on that. And then
we've been pretty good though.
Yeah.
Although I will say that
Trying to lose weight.
after the Wednesday show, so this is the problem. We get a little drunk, and then we're like, we're gonna go to Circle K.
Oh yeah, we get bad.
And then we ended up well, I didn't do too bad. I usually get like a chicken salad sandwich.
But then we get that big chocolate
chips,
bar.
But then Tom's like, let's get a chocolate bar.
Let's get that big chocolate bar.
Because they actually have some, I guess it's a Circle K brand.
It's a Circle K brand, yeah.
And it's a big-ass chocolate bar. It's not expensive either. I think it's
$3.49.
Oh, it's $3.49. But it's big.
It's big.
Like, it's too big for one person. Like, you could easily...
I could eat it.
Well, I know you can, but, you know.
Yeah,
but you eat a lot.
And they got like 4
I have a hard
flavors.
time eating a whole one.
They got like 4 different flavors.
Yeah, they got one with peanut butter in it. They got one with salted caramel. They got a s'mores one, which is...
It was okay.
That was like, well, I don't like marshmallow that much.
They had a caramel one, I think.
Yeah, the salted caramel one. I think that's the best one, although the peanut butter one's really good too.
Yeah.
We got peanut butter
ones. It's kind of like Reese's peanut butter cups, but it's in a bar.
Well, you know what they reminded me of a little bit? They reminded me of like, what the fuck is, I don't even know if they have
kind of like a Dove bar.
Like a caramello.
Yeah,
remember those?
Yeah, it was like that.
Where there's like a little like square like that, and then it's like chocolate with caramel, a little bit of caramel inside. They're kind of like that. But they're kind of like a Hershey bar in that they're breaky. You can break off like squares.
Yeah, Oracle's asked me about a recipe about the peanut chicken. The Thai peanut chicken recipe. She said,
yeah.
Said was missing bamboo shoots. You can put that in it.
Yeah. The peanut. I was dinking around with.
She's talking about satay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember satay actually having bamboo in it, but you could put it in there.
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt it.
Yeah, it won't hurt.
Oh my god, Thai peanut sauce is like the best thing ever.
Thai peanut sauce. It's usually served just on noodles.
It's so good.
It's like peanut butter. It's like peanut butter macaroni.
It's so
instead of macaroni and cheese, it's like peanut butter.
I know. It's like
macaroni
so good.
and peanut butter.
That's one of the best things about Thai food is that they put fucking peanuts and everything, and I'm so on board with that.
Yeah.
I'm so on board.
Yeah.
Because I love peanuts. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I saw something else. Oracle says she's making chili.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna make tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tom will make something. Everything he makes.
I make fucking great chili.
Everything he makes is good, so I don't even like ask. He's just kind of like, oh, we can make this or that. I'm make whatever you want. It's like it's all good.
We haven't made chili in a while.
True.
I should get
it's kind of, and it is kind of.
It's kind of expensive to make.
Well, I was gonna say it's like not really a summery.
That's true.
Kind of.
Well, you could.
It's better in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't really get
cold.
It
doesn't really matter.
But still,
See, I'm not a. When it comes to chili, I'm a traditionalist. I don't use any beans. Beans doesn't actually belong in chili. Chili is just beef. That's it.
Yeah.
Beef. Cubes of beef.
Technically.
Yeah.
And that's how you're supposed to.
Yeah. And you can serve it over rice.
I mean, I'll eat it with beans in it. It's
yeah, if it's got beans, it's okay, but
it's technically not really.
Technically, it's not really supposed to have any beans in. That's kind of a low cost filler to give more.
To make it which, like I said, and beans are good for you.
I'm gonna use $30-40 worth of fucking stew meat. It's gonna be a bunch of fucking meat. And if you actually analyze the recipe, it's actually curry.
Well, yeah,
it's real close to a curry recipe. It's just it's different ratios of spices. It's the same spices. It's just different ratios.
It's a slightly different flavor profile, but it's not really that different.
And in India, they wouldn't use beef. You know what I mean? Unless they were Muslim.
Yeah.
But they're not going to use beef. They're going to use like lamb.
Yeah.
Or goat.
Yeah. Which that's pretty good too.
Or chicken.
Although goats are super cute, so I'm always kind of like, I have eaten goat.
Fuckers are too funny, man. I'm not going to eat something that's that funny. Goat. If you ever worked with goats,
especially baby goats.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen like the
goats are hilarious.
The little videos going around with like the baby goats and the little jammies? Oh my god. That's like the cutest shit ever.
Yeah, goats are hilarious. There were goats at the farm I used to work at.
Remember Franklin?
Franklin was do all he'd play all kinds of funny games and shit. They're very intelligent. You wouldn't think that something like that would be intelligent, but they are. They actually descended from predators. There used to be a whole family of cloven-hoofed predators several 100,000 years ago, and it was the size of a horse, but it had teeth like a lion, you know. And a head kind of like a lion and cleft hooves. And it was a goat. The goat descended from that. So it was intelligent. It was an intelligent predator. Kind of like the way an animal, kind of like the way a lion was. But probably smarter than even a lion. Maybe closer to like a bear. Because goats have inherited a lot of personality. They're not predatory anymore, but they are fucking funny, and they like to play. They're a trip.
I still remember that, I guess, whoever it was at the farm would always bring Franklin little peppermint candies in their pockets.
Yeah.
And so every time a new person showed up, Franklin immediately would go and stick his face in your pocket if you had pockets and be like, hey, you got any candy?
Yeah, see if you got candy. He would also
that other person brings the candy.
Whenever
Where's
I
your
leave,
candy?
Every time at the end of the day, I'd try to leave the barn. Franklin tried to get in the fucking car with me.
Aw.
Yeah,
Like,
come on. Try to get in the passenger seat. And it's because...
It'd be cooler if you tried to get in the driver's seat. I'll drive, come on.
It's because there used to be a golf cart there, and they would ride a golf cart around to feed the horses, and he would jump in the passenger seat of the golf cart.
Oh, and he'd ride in the...
He'd ride.
Aw.
So if he saw you get anything, he'd try to go for a ride.
He's like, oh boy, ride.
Funny. Yeah, let's
so
get out of
cute.
here. Yeah.
He was cute as shit.
Yeah, he was funny.
Little Franklin.
Franklin.
That
was the goat's name.
That was the goat's name. That was the barn he used to work at.
Yeah, it was Dr. Matt's. That was Dr. Matt's fucking...
Because sometimes I would go there.
Yeah, it was Dr. Matt's goat.
Franklin was cool.
Yeah.
He always, like, butt your leg like
yeah.
that. Like, hey. Like, looking for your attention, whatever.
Dr. Matt's mother donated a shit ton of money a long time ago, and that's what they built Orlando General Hospital with. Dr. Matt was fucking loaded.
Yeah, he had a whole compound.
Yeah, he had a whole compound. It was like you went there. It was like going out of something out of Disney. It was like hidden. It was hidden. It was hidden. And he was just a very wealthy Jewish doctor, and he ran the hospital in Altamont. Isn't it the Altamont Hospital?
Yeah,
he ran that one. So he wasn't a doctor that practiced medicine. He was a doctor that had other doctors working for him. He ran a hospital. So I take care of his place when he'd go traveling. Him and his family go off to Egypt, and they'd go to fucking Israel and shit, and they'd be gone for fucking 3 months sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'd take care of his place when he was gone. All the horses that were in there.
Yeah, he had a bunch of horses.
Some
of them were his. Some of them were his, and some were people that boarded
there at his place. Yeah.
A lot of people do that around
here.
This is a big horse area.
Yeah, so you have to take care of all the horses and fucking take care of all of his grounds.
Make
sure nobody's breaking in, man.
Which are very large.
Yeah, make sure nobody was in there.
Although you wouldn't know where that house was.
You had to know where it was.
You had to know where it was. It was like really hard to find.
It looked like a southern plantation house. White, huge columns on the outside of it. Fucking luxury swimming pool in the back. Probably about 8 acres, maybe.
Yeah, it was big.
8 to 10 acres. And it wasn't in the middle of nowhere. It was in a wealthy neighborhood. It's just that you wouldn't know it was there. It had kind of a secret entrance to it, a private road. And it was dirt, so you wouldn't think you were going anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
It looked like a dirt road, and then you had to open a gate, or not? You went down this dirt road. I kept the gate mostly open, and then you got to his place at the end of that road, and then it was all paved. But if you didn't know where you were going down a dirt road, you wouldn't think you were going anywhere, and that was all done on purpose. It was all deception. And then it'd open up, and it would be this beautiful fucking compound with these huge trees and white fences and training pens and fucking paddocks everywhere for all the horses, waterers. They had a whole water supply system so they could all the waterers out in the pastures were fucking being refreshed, and in that fucking big mansion, and it had a fucking professional barn. A bunch of fucking maintenance places, and then his house. And his house was beautiful. Looked like something out of a damn movie.
Old Russell says, have you guys seen Beyond the Law with Charlie Sheen and Michael Madsen? I've heard of that movie, but I don't think I've ever seen it. That might be one we might have to review at some point. Camp Guy says, I'm lucky to have a pretty good Indian grocery store in town. They even make their own samosas to sell at the cash register and have a sugarcane juicing machine. Yeah, we don't live as close to it as we used to. But there's a pretty big, mostly Indian/Asian market, because they have like Pakistani food. They have some other, like, they have Thai food. They have stuff like that.
Yeah, there's two of those kind of.
Yeah, the one's called... What's that one called?
House of Spices is one of them.
House of Spices.
And the other one's called Spice World.
Spice World, the Spice Girls movie.
Yeah, Spice World's a small one. House of Spices is like, that's the full, sure enough, fucking Indian market. I got a card to there. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
They had all bunch.
We haven't been there.
Haven't been there forever.
We went to Spice World just a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Though. And we were like super happy because
Nikki was there.
Because our friend Nikki was still working there after all this time.
Yeah.
After all this time.
Muslim chick.
She is funny as hell.
Fucking hilarious, yeah.
She's funny as hell.
Yeah, she'd be flirting with Jen.
I was like,
yeah.
I was like, man, we haven't been here in so long, and I was like, I thought it was so cool that she was still there.
She didn't quite recognize me because
you looked a lot different.
I looked a lot different, yeah.
Because it's been more than
4 years.
It's been a few years since we've been there.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that's a lot closer to our old house. Now it's kind of a little bit of a trek.
Yeah.
But it's they have like a bunch of good shit, and they have like a produce section and refrigerated section and all that.
She was kind of recognizing Jen, but I started talking to her and fucking in banter. And she's coming back and she's going like, yeah, I know this motherfucker, but I don't recognize him. I could tell that's what she was doing. She says, you know who I am, right? And she goes, kinda. And I said, I used to have hair. And he goes, oh yeah. And he said, you're big. I said, yeah, I got. Yeah.
That's really funny.
We saw a dude. Speaking of Muslims, fucking recognized me. It was last time we were at the club. Fucking
at Barbarella last Saturday.
Yeah. What's that guy's name again?
Yeah, I hadn't seen him in
hadn't seen him forever.
Years. I don't remember the last time.
He was just looking at me like.
Yeah, he was like down the other end of the bar.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, that's what's his name. He goes.
Because we hadn't seen him for probably like fucking...
Yeah.
Well, for sure since iBar was downtown still.
Oh, it was about... He said it was almost 8 years.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Cal.
That's right.
He goes by the name Cal. And he was looking at you, and he was just... Then he was looking at me, and I think he thought you got a new boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I pointed at Mike, and he goes, that's you. And he says, yeah. Goes, dude, what happened?
Yeah.
Why? Working out. Why?
Why?
I'm big now. Yeah, you look great. How come, man? What's up with that? He was amazed.
It was pretty funny.
He's the same age as me. And I let him talk and shit. We were kind of like, yeah, it's been a long time, you know. Remember, his son got born, and his son was like had super bad autism.
Yeah.
Remember that? I didn't ask him about it, but he'll be back around. He says he's gonna come back around. And then he's from Lebanon.
Yeah, that's right. Lebanese. I forgot about that.
And I told him, I said, we got married finally. He goes, oh, good. Because he was fucking pregnant. Why don't you marry her? It was like a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah, because
he was saying that even like a long time ago.
His Islamic morality was fucking going crazy, you know what I mean? Fucking, I said, we just got married to these other people. We just got divorced. He goes, well, you guys got divorced? Because he realized that we had both divorced other people.
Yeah.
And I said, fucking no, we don't need to get married right now, man. What are you talking about? We just got married fucking a couple of years ago to these other people.
To these other people.
But you're with her. You got to get married. So you don't have to do anything, man. We're just together. Yeah, that fucked him up. Oh, you should get married. So fine, he got married. Oh, good. But the thing is that fucking we've been together close to fucking 15 fucking years.
Yeah, we got to. I mean,
we were together longer than we know. That's twice as good as your average marriage.
Yeah,
average marriage is like 7.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's the thing. It's I mean, my first marriage was 14 years.
Yeah, that's a good marriage actually. For the West, 14 is a long time.
That's about how long my mom and dad were married.
Yeah,
because they were about 14. I was about 14 when they divorced. And,
that's why there wasn't a lot of hard feelings and shit. You guys were married together a long time, man.
Yeah. And it's just, you know, like I said, it wasn't any one thing. It was just kind of like...
I'll tell you another thing, though, man. Seeing how you dealt with him during the divorce, fucking, I kind of felt better about you. I was like, man, she could have probably really fucked him up or took him to the cleaners.
I would never.
But he wasn't, you know, so I was like, okay, at least she's good in the divorce phase. So, you know... It was kind of like more reassuring. She's not dangerous.
The only time that I would do that is if that person had righteously fucked me over the first place and they had it coming.
Yeah.
Then I would fuck them over even worse.
Yeah.
But if they didn't really do anything overt or nothing, I would never do that to anybody.
Yeah, that just the relationship just fizzled. It was just, you know,
it
went
wasn't
on
any
for a long time. There weren't any kids in the relationship.
We didn't have any kids or nothing like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a huge
You were young when you got married and
deal. Yeah, I was like only 22 or something like that.
But that was a good run.
Yeah, and like I said, we had a good time for, you know, 12 years. And then it started kind of going downhill. But, you know, like I said...
people change.
Like I said, nothing horrible. There was, like, no abuse or anything like that. It was just kind of like...
More like indifference.
Yeah. Well, it was just kind of like
both y'all just kind of got me
wanted to do different stuff and shit like that. And like I said, he seemed like he was getting into some chick at work, and I was just kind of like, well,
I think he was using that as a threat to try to fucking get you to up your game or some shit like that.
Yeah, that shit doesn't work on me, bro. Sorry.
It did work.
You say shit like that, I'm just gonna go, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Go be with that clearly superior chick then.
Yeah, who didn't take him?
And of course not. She was married too.
Yeah.
So that doesn't, because I know that that's what they're doing. So
that was a game.
It doesn't work.
That was a game.
Sorry. It's like, well, if you don't want me, then bye.
There have been plenty of married people who had like a fucking connection like that they never even fucking touched one another, but just there was like an understanding. Yeah, you're hot. You're hot. We're friends. You know what I mean? And some people can just keep it like that.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you have to do anything about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no one's making you.
So he could have had that and not said anything to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he said something to you to try to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Try to use it as a fucking leverage.
And that just made me mad.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That just made me mad.
That was the wrong call. That was the wrong call. He shouldn't have done that. But that's not what ended the relationship. It was going to end anyway. That was just one of the symptoms. You guys were together too long. And you guys had just grown different.
Yeah, like I said, we were real young and...
But that was just one of the things that can happen. And when you're breaking up with somebody, you got to find some reason. So you kind of used that as the reason, but that wasn't the reason.
Well, no, I'm not. That's not the only reason.
Yeah,
that was kind of one of the things that was the main thing that kind of exposed all the cracks. I guess.
Yeah, right.
That, you know what I mean, like that kind of shit. And I didn't like too that we kind of had a discussion that we were going to separate, but because of finances, like we couldn't live apart yet.
Yeah.
Like, because I was looking for a job in Orlando and I was looking for an apartment, but we were living in the same house, just in different rooms. And even though we had agreed that we were separated, and I had started dating other people, he still like used that against me, like calling me a slut and shit like that. Even though I wasn't doing anything particularly slutty, I was just doing normal shit.
Yeah, I was one of the guys.
Yeah, so it's just, so I didn't love that. I was like, oh, true color's coming out, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was that kind of thing.
Well, what that was, is that was more like player hate.
Yeah.
Probably because he wasn't as successful. See,
well, that's,
we're talking about the dude, but we haven't named him, so it doesn't matter. So we're not putting a face to it. He was Welsh. He was from Wales. And he wasn't real functional in American society. He was still very Welsh in the way that he kind of did things, which that actually, you could use that in the U.S. if you know how to do it. But he was just, it wasn't, because there are some women that like foreign guys.
Yeah.
But he didn't quite play it the right way.
Yeah, he could have pulled that off.
He could have really fucking done well with that angle, but he just didn't know how to use it.
Because, he had the accent. He was actually in real good shape.
He's a good-looking guy.
He was a runner. He was a soccer player.
Yeah, he was a good-looking guy.
He did karate and all that stuff. So he wasn't, like, fat or nothing like that. He was in real good shape. He was real into, like, athletics and shit.
Yeah,
he was into horror movies. He was, like,
Yeah, I met him. I met them. Cool music. When I met them, they were a couple. And, they were just a cool couple. And she was real cool, and then I would just move through the crowd But he seemed like a charismatic guy, on the surface, just meeting him. But I couldn't understand a word he was fucking saying. I mean, it's just like, he was cool. It was just, because he was, buddying up and shit. And I just got the tone, you know what I mean? He was being friendly.
It's funny to me
I couldn't understand what
his
the fuck he was
accent is
saying.
Not thick at all. Like, if you go to Wales, because I lived in Wales for a little while, and, like, all his relatives and stuff like that, their accents were way thicker than his.
Well, I could get the gist of what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of the words that he was
using. And I still
using
understood that.
I didn't know what the fuck he said. Well, and also I was in a club environment, so it was loud.
Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, when I'm at a club, like, I can hear about 50% of what people are saying, whether they have an accent or not. And usually we're all drinking, and it's like we're talking and having long conversations, and it's like the music's really loud, like everyone's really loud. So it's like a lot of times I'm just kind of like, I can hear it. Unless you talk right in my ear, I can't really
Yeah.
discern. I can kind of get the gist, but most of the time I'm just like, yeah, totally. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said. But, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But he thought I stole her, but I didn't.
And he did tell other people that.
Yeah, it wasn't true. I'm going to take the street cred. That sounds cooler. It was like, yeah, but that's not exactly what happened.
He went, whoosh.
They broke up, and she started hanging out more in the club, and me and her became buddies. And we hooked up, but we were still like on a friend level. And then we became kind of like business partners in like club business. Fucking where we were just like dreaming up new clubs and we were recruiting fucking DJs and everything, you know, of people that I knew online, and all that shit panned out because that was Dimitri and his wife.
Yeah.
And fucking I got them, and fucking we took over a place called the Grotto, and we did a bunch of cool club shit together. And she was making badass graphics and stuff, and it was just club gangster shit. And yeah, me and her, like, we were like inseparable, even though we fucking weren't kind of like exclusive. But we had feelings.
Yeah. And
but it was, I wanted to see, for me, you know, being in a relationship was kind of like a impending doom, because, you know, I fucking went.
We talked about it a lot.
We talked about it. I was honest.
We did talk about it. He wasn't like leading me on or nothing like that. He was very forthright about how he felt about shit, as was I. So we kind of discussed the shit like the whole entire time.
Every time I got into a relationship, it was short term, and it was also just like sexual. And then once I started to like fucking date somebody and shit like that, I knew my time was short. It's just because that was just the way it was. That's how I got the body count that I got. Yeah. But the thing is, I was dating very viperous, competitive goth girls from the Boston scene.
And I think he was expecting me to be like that, or he was expecting the other shoe to drop. Yeah. It took him a really long time to realize that I wasn't like that.
Yeah, I wasn't really used to a woman being exclusive to me for very long. So I had adapted to that. And I had kind of become that way. Yeah. Where, you know, I was kind of predatory myself.
Yeah. Yeah, so you were a bit.
She knows what I was like. I didn't take advantage of women, but I just went through a bunch of them. Yeah. But I didn't break any hearts. It's just that maybe I did, but they would.
Did you?
Well, when they started fucking up, I was just like, fuck this.
I don't know if you did. I don't know anybody, because I know.
No, I didn't fuck over anybody.
You didn't fuck over anybody.
I didn't fuck over anybody in modern history.
Because I know people that you dated. Yeah. And nobody has a bad thing to say about
you. No, they all like me still. Yeah.
Like, you still talk to all of them. So to me, that's like a green flag. Like, like, you don't have to like hang out with your exes or nothing like that. That's a little bit weird, but like, but the fact that all your exes still like you and they don't say bad shit about you,
half of my exes want to sleep with you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That too. They're trying to get threesomes and shit going.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, but like I said, it is a red flag if you start dating somebody and like every one of their exes is like, oh my god, he's a monster. Then like obviously you have to fucking listen to that. Yeah. But the fact that I knew a lot of your exes or people that you just had casually dated, and everybody still liked you even after you'd broken up or whatever.
Because I never made any promises. I never fucking did anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're very honest. Yeah. I mean, you're very, even if it hurts people's feelings, right? You don't lead anybody on, which I liked that, because, like I said, you're very refreshingly blunt, which a lot of times is not. I mean, like I said, sometimes it hurts your feelings, but it's like you know where you stand, though. Like I knew where I stood with you, like we discussed it.
I just came I came from a very competitive kind of cutthroat dating scene, where you know, in the goth scene up in Boston, and Detroit wasn't as bad, but Boston was fucking really was where it was. So you had to become very kind of tough and kind of indifferent in a way. Yeah. It doesn't mean you had to be an asshole. Yeah. You're still an entertainer. It's just so you realize that none of these women belong to you, and none of them want to belong to you. Yeah. Everything is temporary.
And as long as everyone's on the same page, I don't have a problem with that. Right.
And I kind of had a background in fucking kind of like polyamory since high school, you know, where me and my buddies were all dating the same girls and swapping up and fucking double dating and fucking devil's threesomes and shit, you know what I mean? Since I was in high school. So I never really, Jenna can vouch me for this, I never was really possessive.
No,
because I always saw women as individuals and everybody as an individual. So like me and Jen's relationship really didn't come from any, at least from my point of view, didn't really come from any desire for possession. It was more like partnership. Where we're working side by side trying to get shit done and helping each other, just that kind of shit. Which I think, because I study dating habits from all over the world. China, Japan, fucking Central America, North America. And I listen to the fucking manosphere and all of them, and then I listen to what the women are saying and all this. And really what me and Jen have are actually like what most people in the world want.
Yeah.
The kind of relationship we have is what they wish they had over in China. Because over there, man, talk about cutthroat. Because the dudes want it to be more naturalistic based upon personality and working together to build a life together. But in China right now, the women just want it it's about money. How many houses do you own? Do you own a car? How much are going to pay for me to marry? Because you got to do what's called a bride price, which is pay them. You're paying a woman to marry you.
That's pretty old school.
That's basically buying a woman.
Yeah.
But she can leave you anyway. Yeah. So just nah. So like the fucking. The last thing, as a Western dude like me, the last thing you'd ever want is a Chinese woman. Because you're buying fucking merchandise that can walk away from you. I mean, you paid for her, but you don't own her. So what's the advantage of paying for her?
Like I said, I was never really into the whole transactional
very transactional
relationship, which some people
super transactional.
Yeah, some people do that. I don't really.
And then they're all about, and then the women
very empty.
Chinese women are constantly making videos, fucking telling other women how to get men to buy you designer bags and how to get them to buy you jewelry and everything into these.
Who wants that crap?
Yeah,
not me.
They want little $3,000 fucking Fendi bags and fucking, and then you go like, bitch, stand up. Bitch, look at you. You weigh 85 pounds. You got legs fucking smaller than my fucking arms. There's not enough woman in there to deserve that kind of money. What are you talking about? You look like a boy.
All I can think is...
And they're little skinny fucking things,
All I can think of is me having... Which I would never pay $3,000 for a fucking purse, for Christ's sake. That is the stupidest shit ever.
See, they go... Like, ding, 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 ding.
But if I did, it's like, if somebody gave me a $3,000 purse or something like that, I would
pawn that bitch.
Well, I would pawn it. But, no, because I'd be fucking paranoid. I would never want to take it anywhere. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to leave it in the club. I'm going to get drunk and barf in it. It's like, you know what I mean? Who fucking knows?
Well, here's the thing. You got a $3,000 bag.
I'm used to having,
where we go,
inexpensive
people
stuff.
Would not know what that was. And if they did, they would go, "What a fucking douche!
Yeah,
you
like,
got a fucking $3,000. Get the fuck out of here, $3,000 bag.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah, fuck out of here."
Which I would do that too.
Yeah.
If somebody showed up like at our thing was like and trying to like
trying to impress.
Yeah, and like trying to like throw it as like, look at I paid $3,000 this bag. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot then.
Yeah, you must be flat chested as fuck because a big titty chick wouldn't need that. You just come in with them fucking titties and then next thing, whoa. Spend the $3,000 on titties.
I have a cool ass purse that has like little spikes and a skull on it.
I think
I paid a grand total of $35.
Yeah, a purse that looks like a coffin. It's got vampire wings on it.
I think it was $35.
Yeah,
and that was even a little steep.
Yeah,
like for me, I was just like $35. Yeah, god damn.
I got the
might have been $40.
I got the best goth boots you can buy. They're about $400. Fucking New Rocks, the big fucking tall ones. All right, but they last forever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, you really only have to buy one
pair of fucking New Rocks I have is about 30 years old, and they still look brand new because it's all fucking thick-ass fucking cowhide and great fucking... And if anything breaks, you could take it to the shoe repair place. They'll fix it.
Well, they're handmade, aren't they?
They're handmade Spanish fucking shoes. Yeah, this is a pair of them, but it's not the ones I was talking about. These aren't.
Yeah, that's he has like two pairs, like a.
No, I got three pairs.
Oh, you got three pairs. Yeah.
I got
like a lot, like
two pair of boots and one pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And
over the years he's bought.
So my boots are about $450. These were about $325, and my shoes were just under $300. But you only have to buy them once.
And you've had those for years and years.
You can get $150 pair of Demonia, which is the same kind of a similar design, but they're in vinyl. All right, you're lucky if that lasts you 3 years.
Yeah. I've gone through a bunch of like vinyl.
Demonios will fall apart after that. Yeah.
Especially if you go out and dance in them every weekend. They'll last about a year and then they start.
I wear these on my bike. I'll wear them working. They can be polished. Fucking, quality matters. So I can understand
that
$300-$400 pair of fucking
really
super nice boots that are fucking tough.
That last for years and years. I understand that.
Yeah. $4,000 fucking handmade fucking bag? Nah.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I don't get that.
I can understand 100. I can understand 200. That. I can understand 200. Not 3,000.
I mean, I wouldn't pay $200.
That's designer shit, man. They say, well, it's all handmade. Yeah, well, fuck it. You could go to the fucking flea market and get a handmade leather bag, fucking all put together by some hippie. Go on Etsy. Yeah.
Etsy, yeah.
And that bitch would last just as long, and it's just made by a hippie. And all different kinds of fucking.
And they're not going to charge me.
They want the brand name on that bitch. That's that's all
like I said, I think it's all about like impressing other people. Yeah. But the thing about it is that
it doesn't impress people in our scene.
No.
So
like I said, we'd all just think you were a douche.
They would just think you were a douche.
Same as like all those like old boomer guys that drive around in like flashy cars and shit like that. I'm like, I think they think that they're impressing like
you look
chicks
like a douche.
And stuff. I'm like, nope, you just look like a douche.
If you show up to the goth club, you look like shit. You're in your 50s or 60s. And you look like shit. And you fucking pull up in a fucking Bugatti. They're going to laugh at you. They're not going to fucking... They're going to go, what is this?
Or they're just going to go...
They're going to go, he's trying to get... That fat-ass old motherfucker's trying to get laid with a fucking $1 million car. Fuck that bitch. That's exactly how they're just laughing. Ha ha, what a fucking sucker.
Yeah.
And then the girls don't give him any pussy.
No, because why would they?
No, because
girls don't care about cars.
They don't give a shit about that car. They don't really care about your money.
Other dudes care about cars.
Yeah, and you're now uncool.
Yeah.
Now, if you're hot and you're fucking dressed right, you show up in a fucking cool looking fucking Dodge Charger, which is
a vintage hearse,
or a hearse. Yeah, then like they're like a 1950s hearse. You're like yeah.
We might get on board with that.
Yeah. They're okay. Yeah,
that you fixed up yourself. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, but a fucking 70s muscle car that looks cool. Yeah,
that's also cool.
Yeah, they'll like that. But no, it's not so much the price tag. It's the look, the aesthetic, and really they're gonna be looking at you for you.
Yeah.
Who are you? And
really, what do you do? Like, what's your deal?
You can be anything as long as you know how to play it. And you can do well.
Some of the coolest people in the scene, I'm not going to say they're bums, but it's like they're not
rich.
Rich or nothing.
They just look good.
They just look good and they're cool
and how to dress, and how to dress and how to act.
And people and everyone just likes them.
Yep. And the race doesn't really matter either. They're Hispanics, whites, blacks. It doesn't fucking matter. Anybody in the scene that is high caliber is high caliber because they're cool.
Yeah.
And they're all known.
Yeah, we have different standards for what constitutes like being in the upper echelons, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, the scene's not super hierarchical, but there are some people that everyone knows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Defense Mechanism shows up. She's an older Hispanic chick. You would never know by looking at her, though. She's almost my age. And she's a professional entertainer. She shows up in these costumes and dances. These are fantastic costumes.
Man, her costumes.
Bunch of facial piercings and stuff. And she's quite entertaining.
And she does fire dancing and stuff.
Fire dancing and shit. Shit you would see in the movies. We know the people that do, like, we were watching Farscape and they were fucking blowing fire and juggling fire in the fucking club.
We know a couple people that do that.
In the Farscape episode, they're like, people only see that shit in the movies. Fucking, we go to the club and we know the people doing that. They'll show up and they'll just start doing stuff. Like Kerosene Kitty doing her fucking just goth chick with a fucking fantastic ass. She's out there fucking with her ass hanging out, fucking juggling fire and fucking blowing fire and shit. She doesn't blow fire, does she?
She might. I haven't seen her in a long time.
Yeah. So, and they'll just do it in the club, and it's like unannounced.
Yeah, like sometimes
I think they kind of clear it, but they don't announce that they're going to be there. It's just that they're there.
Yeah, they'll just show up and start doing stuff.
And Defense will just kind of show up, and she's out there dancing, and her people who know her and everything are keeping the crowd away from her. Fucking. When she showed up at Mannequins.
Mannequins, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. a lot of the mundanes, you know, just regular civilians wanted to fucking dance next to her. And they're like, get away, get away.
Just like, yeah.
Give her room. Like, you're dealing with a celebrity. Okay. She's here for an event.
It's like, would you peons get out of
She's not here to dance with you. She's here to fucking promote the club.
Yeah.
You know.
Which they didn't really seem to understand that.
And she looks like a fucking cybernetic, futuristic geisha on huge fucking platforms with fucking lights shining out of her. There's no way. Here, maybe I should fucking. Should I pull up some video of her?
If you can find her in a good outfit. I mean, she does like a completely different outfit.
Yeah,
like
her outfits are different all the time.
But
you have to see it to understand it.
I think the last time I saw her was at... No, she came to Barbarella.
She came to Barbarella.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I said hi to her. Remember?
Yeah,
she was
that's right.
Her and her boyfriend.
I forgot.
I was talking to her.
Yeah, because I was like, we saw her at Mannequins, but she was like performing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she came to Barbarella I think it was 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
It wasn't that long ago. It was just like a few weeks ago. Like, because I was like, oh my god, I haven't seen her in a long time. Tasteful Sickness says there are great handmade leatherworks made in Detroit for $400. Hard to justify $3K. Yeah, $400. I can see that. I still wouldn't pay that because I can't really afford or justify that cost. But I can see why you would pay. I mean, $400. I've seen some stuff like on Etsy that is handmade with like really quality materials and stuff like that, and they want $300-400, and I'm not mad about that at all. Like, I'm just like, yeah, that took like a huge amount of time, and it's obviously like a really quality product, so I don't begrudge them charging that. But yeah, $3K, that's just for a name.
There's Defense.
That's just for a name.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember when she was doing that with the saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
She'll show up to the fucking club doing that.
That's not Mannequins, is it?
No, I don't know what club that is. Might be Tampa.
Yeah, it might be. Because I was like, that doesn't look crowded enough to be Mannequins.
That's her.
Con Outland says, happy 4th of July, guys.
Thank you
very much. Yeah, I haven't really heard that much fireworks. Because like I said, it's kind of storming. Kind of storming.
Let's see. It looks like Orange Ave.
It does a bit. It's hard for me to tell because it keeps moving around.
So you never know how she's going to look when she shows up.
Yeah, she has a totally different...
She's got a shit ton of fucking outfits. Yeah, she's got a split tongue. I forgot about that
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that too. I think she makes most of her own shit also.
Yeah, she makes all those her outfits. I'm trying to get one of her dancing.
Oh, Constance says, wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you very much, bro.
So I know it was first.
Constance, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
Look, that should show up like that. Big old fucking stilts.
Yeah, I mean, I always admire people that can dance on stilts.
Yeah.
I would fall and break my neck.
It just takes practice.
Well, duh, I know that. I was just,
I don't know what concert that is.
Yeah, she
hire her to do all kinds of
stuff. To do stuff like before shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, this not tomorrow night because we're going to Barbarella, but the following Saturday we're going to see A Starry Night. They're coming and playing in Orlando at Will's Pub.
Yeah.
They haven't been here in a couple of years. They played Tampa a few times, but that's kind of far.
That's a cool outfit. Looks like some kind of dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Funny.
Yeah, but she makes all that stuff.
Amanda said a hearse would be so sick, right?
Yeah.
I wish more goths could
There was one out here for a while.
Could afford some old hearse and fix it up, but
the problem is that the really cool gothed out looking hearses are from the 50s.
Yeah.
And they're fucking impossible to keep gas in one. They're just gas guzzlers.
They look awesome though.
Yeah.
Although we get a lot of compliments on our car, so on Tom's car. His old Mercury Marquis. Because it doesn't really look like a limo. It just looks like a big red boat.
It's a luxury. It's an executive luxury sedan. That's what Mercury called it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love the fucking... I love all the corporate speak they come up with. Like, all the advertising.
Well,
like
you should have seen
the marketing jargon they come up with.
I looked up the commercials that they came out for that year, and they're like, it's like fucking a dude in a tux with fucking shaking a fucking... You know, they're
the cocktail
showing
dress.
up to the cocktail dress. They're showing up to the fucking, you know, to some...
We're at a fancy
5-star fucking host. And it's just like, man, every old
Give
person
me some
has
champagne and caviar and...
That particular car, there's lots of them here because
throwing your keys to the valet.
Of all the people that retired here, bought those.
Yeah. That
one in the Lincoln Town Car. And we have the best Panther platform is what it's called. That's Crown Victoria, Mercury Grand Marquis, Lincoln Town Car. There was all this and the cop cars and the taxis. It was all called the Panther platform. It was all the same car that they could trick up and make all these other cars. Florida's known for having the best of the Panther platforms because they don't rust here. All right, we don't salt roads. It's always summer. Anything can be repainted, and it was old people that owned them. They didn't drive them much, so you can. My 1999 had just 100,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
And that car has been known to get 600,000 miles on one engine.
And like it looked almost brand new.
Looked brand new.
Like when we bought it.
And I paid $4,000 for it.
Well, $3,000, and I gave them my old Ford Taurus.
That's right. But then I put another $1,000 into the car easily.
Yeah.
I was fixing shit up, putting new coils, spark plugs, new AC compressor. Most of it I did myself, but some of it I got a good local guy who knows all about the Panther platform. And put a new, what do they call it? Fuel pump. Put a new fuel pump in it and a new fucking fuel level sensor. So you can tell how much gas is in the tank.
Camp Guy says, I have one pair of boots, one pair of Timberland hiker low rise.
Yeah, that's a good brand.
And one pair Florsheim black men's cap toe dress shoes. I have a lot of shoes, but not like Imelda Marco's lots of shoes. But I have like a lot of shoes. Most of them Tom bought me on various platforms, but all of them, with the exception of like one pair, are like gothy shoes.
Yeah,
like they're almost all, well, I was gonna say they're almost all boots. I have a bunch of boots, most of which are black. I do have a pair that are white, like kind of go-go boots, but they're still like industrial looking. And I have a couple of flats, like Mary Jane type shoes, some of which are shiny and have like bones on them and stuff. And then I have a couple pairs of gothy sandals that have like straps and chains and whatnot. I think the only normal pair of shoes I have is just like a little pair of cheap black tennis shoes.
Yeah, you were wearing them today. Go get
Well, yeah, well, I was just taking the garbage out.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not going to put on elaborate shoes
Yeah.
to just go out back and take the garbage out. So I just like slipped my little tennis shoes on.
We must be boring as fuck, man. Fucking a lot of people aren't here that they would normally be here.
I gotta go pee.
Yeah, I gotta go get another. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead.
Well, let me go to the bathroom first, and then when I get back, then you can make some more drinks.
Yeah, I gotta make some more drinks here.
Well, it's July 4th, so people might be doing other stuff like.
Yeah, it's 4th of July. Yeah, they're out. But my boy Kanabatslan is in. He hasn't been on a live stream in a long time, but we still talk. We still talk on Messenger and Instagram. I've probably known Khan for 10 years. When you say Khan, probably about 10 years, and he's from Tijuana, Mexico. So we were talking a lot about Mexican stuff. He works at a hotel in Mexico. I showed some pictures of him and his boys. He's got these 2 sons that look like they're right out of fucking Hollywood. They look like they could have been fucking Tom Cruise and fucking back in Tom Cruise and fucking the Sheens. Look at they're like the Mexican Tom Cruise and Mexican Martin Sheens and shit for fucking back in the 80s. But they were like all decked out, and I said, "Damn, Con, you got some handsome ass sons." I said, "Don't let them up here in the United States. These white girls will snap them up in a fucking heartbeat." They were like telling him, they were asking him, says, "Hey, Dad, maybe we should get the fuck out of here. Maybe we should go up north." And he's like, "Nah, we're gonna stay here in Mexico." All right, let me go get us Make us some drinks.
Make us some more drinky drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, it was getting me about that time. Yeah, Grump said everyone's lighting sparklers tonight. Yeah. Like I said, it's like I've heard some of the neighbors have been setting off fireworks sporadically, but the weather's been pretty, well, not pretty shit from my point of view, because I like cloudy, rainy weather. It's better than it being sunny and hot as balls. I mean, it's still hot as balls, but it's not quite as hot. So, because it was storming, actually when I was in the bathroom just now, I just saw some lightning through the window, so it might kind of, I don't know if it's going to rain it out completely, but I don't think the fireworks usually start until 9 or 9:30 anyways, because it's still kind of light out a little bit. But yeah, I don't hear much of anything. Kind of Allison said, I remember when I subscribed, you only had about 2,000 subs. Wow, yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of like, it's taken a long time for us to get to whatever we have now, which is 16,000, almost 17,000, I think. Which isn't bad. I mean, you know, it's pretty good. It's a pretty middling kind of number. I don't really worry about it too much. I just kind of do what we do, and if people like it, fine. If they don't like it, also fine. I don't really care either way. You know what I mean?
Here you go, take this.
Okay.
I go to the restroom.
Take this.
Yeah, take this one.
It says, hello all, finally off work. Hey, how are y'all? Klaus says, hi, Jenny. Hi. Yeah, Tom will be back in a minute. He was making drinks and he had to go to the bathroom. Zach says, was just Googling some shit and I just learned what a boho goth is. I'm loving that look. Yeah, that's a pretty cool look, honestly. Like I said, there's about a bajillion goth subcultures, like different looks and stuff, other than just kind of the classic that most people would realize. I feel like it's not as pronounced as it was back in the 90s. I feel like it was a lot more, especially because I think the 90s was kind of the heyday, or maybe like the early 2000s was kind of the heyday of like the cyber or graver kind of thing, which I didn't love. Like some people pulled it off, but I didn't really like that look all that much. But all through the whole time, you see, so you had people doing that, and then you had people doing like real old school, like Victorian Anne Rice looking shit. Then you had the kind of more classic 80s death rock kind of look with like the big teased hair and the torn fishnet and all of that. But yeah, there's like a lot of subcultures. And then there were also, there was kind of like a bohemian hippie gothic. You don't see it as much.
They call it fairycore now.
Yeah, now it's called fairycore. But it's pretty much the same thing. Pretty much. You don't see it as much as you did in the 90s. I feel like it was kind of big then. Like that. I saw that a lot.
Con said it was about 8 years. He says he remembers when we only had 2,000 subs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You were one of our first subscribers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also said a Logan's Run series brought me to you.
No shit.
A lot of people said
that was a great episode, man. A lot of people loved that episode when
either the Logan's Run movie or the episode that we did about the Logan's Run TV series was like their introduction, because I guess maybe a lot of people didn't at the time didn't review it.
It was an unserved niche. Was that Logan's Run?
So yes, because I've noticed that like a lot of people said, oh, that was the first time that I found.
And Ed and Lorraine Warren.
That too. That was easily the one that I got the most abusive comments about, though.
Oh, but they hated it because we were talking shit about the Warrens. The Warrens were fucking, come on.
Grifters.
They were grifters, yeah. I'm not saying that they didn't see paranormal stuff. Maybe Allegedly. They did a little bit, but fucking no. Most of the shit they talked about, no.
It's just funny they get so mad about it. Yeah. Like out of all the topics.
Because they want to believe it.
Yeah, out of all the topics we've covered, that one seemed to make people the most butthurt. Which has kind of amused me.
Religion was a factor.
Well, yeah, anytime you do anything about... I was surprised we didn't get more hate on the evolution versus creationism one. Yeah. Because I think I shit on creationists pretty hard in that one because I kind of hate them. But I didn't get really... We don't really get many abusive comments anymore. I'm not really sure why that is.
They gave up. I think a lot of...
they gave up because I ignored them, probably.
You know, part of it is that... abusive comments are more likely to happen on smaller channels that haven't been around that long.
Yeah, I guess.
If you've been around a long time, they don't bother with you. because they know you're hardened to it. We don't go back and read comments on old episodes.
I don't usually.
We really don't even get notified about comments on the old stuff.
Yeah, I do. Like, I get it shows up in my email.
But I bet you it's 5% of the
But
comments.
I get so many that it's like I don't really have time to read them all.
You're right. Yeah.
So, like, every now and then I'll kind of go through and be like, yeah, cool. And then every now and then one's like...
It's assholes.
Like, what? Yeah, every now and then it's an asshole. And I'm just kind of like,
this is
okay,
normal
whatever.
when you do this for a living. It's normal. You got
care.
to be any kind of podcaster or YouTube personality, you gotta have thick skin. But me and Jen have that. We had that before. If you get butthurt or you care too much or you're too affected about what somebody says, this isn't for you.
Well, you have to come at it from the point of view, because I used to get upset about it.
Yeah.
You know, when we first started out, because I'm like, wow, people are so fucking mean. What the hell? Like, why do they take precious time out of their day just to like abuse somebody they don't even know? But then, like, after a while, I was like, well, their lives are really sad. And then I was just kind of like, why the fuck would I care what some loser thinks about me anyway?
See, here's the thing. Usually when you get a fucked up comment or something, if you actually trace back and see who this person is, there's no photos of them.
Yeah, of course not.
So you don't know who it is.
Oh, I can imagine what they look like.
Yeah. There's a
because they all look the same.
There's a meme photo, a meme out there showing a photo of an extremely overweight white dude.
I know exactly what meme you're talking about.
At the keyboard.
Yeah.
And his comment is, she is entirely too muscular. She's way too muscular.
I think they've used that dude's photo for lots of other memes.
Yeah. She's way too.
Because I know that photo.
And then you know, I follow a lot of fitness stuff, and there's all kinds of fitness hotties on there, and if it's fitness people, they're just like, yeah, oh, you look great, this and that. If that kind of shit goes into more of the mainstream thing, she looks like a man. Oh, she's too muscular. And you go like...
And then you see them and you see
them and you go, yeah, she does look like a man next to you.
It's like, yeah, but you look like Jabba the Hutt. So.
Yeah. or you don't look like anything. You know what I mean? Like yeah. You don't look like a man either. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. People that are happy with their lives don't do that shit. So it's like,
anybody always comes from bottom.
Anybody that does that,
yeah,
probably all you should feel is pity or contempt.
Yeah,
I'm more on the contempt era. I don't really feel any pity for them because they could be better. They just choose not to be.
In my case, it's so. In my case, the way I look at it, usually when you hear shit like that, it's always somebody that. They wouldn't say that to you face to face.
No, of course not, because they get
the ass fucking thrashed. Yeah,
rightfully so.
And then
maybe they'll learn that.
And a lot of times sometimes it's a very young person.
Yeah.
Or it's a person that doesn't get out much. So hatred always comes from the bottom up.
Yeah.
It's always somebody who's in much worse circumstances than you. They're kind of like lashing out.
Yeah.
So you just go, okay, yeah. It's from the demons in hell or fucking saying this shit, you know. It's usually not somebody at your level or near your level or somebody who's fucking better than you. They're not talking to you like that.
Because like I said,
people that are better than you don't have time to listen to you. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit what you do.
Well, like I said, people that are actually like accomplished and like good at stuff, like don't feel the need to drag others down.
Yeah. Well, they don't even comment.
No, why would they? Yeah. They're busy,
they're busy doing their own life. Yeah.
Unlike losers who apparently have endless time to just sit around like hating on people who just randomly like that they don't even know.
I'm like on Instagram. I'll make comments. I never make negative comments ever. And on X also, I never make a negative comment.
I said, I don't see the point of it.
Yeah, because it's a waste of time. It's like, why are you trying to fight this person? You can go down and look at the comment sections under what they posted or what they said or with the video, and you got millions of other people going, "Are you fucking asshole?" So why should you jump into that and call him asshole? Everybody else called him asshole. Let them do it.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to go in there and fucking.
Yeah.
And, I'll only make a comment if it's something positive. So, oh yeah, you got badass insertions. Oh, you looking good, girl. Fucking, you earned that shit. You know what I mean? But it's always like some bodybuilder.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I always
give them positive fucking.
I always kind of feel like, look, there's enough negativity and shit in the world. Don't add to it.
No.
You don't need to.
No.
like I said, you don't need to drag other people down to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
Only losers do that.
Yeah.
So.
And then, you know, also, this is my advice to some of you younger guys. Don't get on fucking... don't get on Instagram and try to pick up girls. Okay, I see other dudes doing it. You just look like...
You would think that would be common sense, but evidently not.
Yeah, you just look like...
Evidently not.
I'll only fucking... If... Okay, I never comment on kind of like a normal or an average person's fucking posts on Instagram. It's like I said, it's always somebody who's trying to fucking achieve excellence. Like this chick is just fucking shredded as fuck up in China. You know what I mean? And I'll go, oh yeah, you're looking good. Fucking, you are extremely lean. You must be fucking 1% body fat. That's what she wants to hear because that's what she's working for, and it's true. Okay, but you don't get on there with some kind of average chick who's got nice boobs and go, oh, your boobs are so. No, because that's not really that unusual, and really that just comes across as you're trying to fuck her.
Yeah.
Because that's what other
Well, he is trying to fuck her.
Yeah, now.
And he thinks
women
that she
and
would give
people
him the
that
time of
we
day.
know will post on there, like Mouse.
Yeah.
I go, Mouse, you look great. I love that fucking makeup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But we know her.
We know her, right? Yeah. So it's a totally
like in real life.
We know her in real life. So you know what I mean? Fucking. So you can do that on people that you know. Although these, maybe I'm speaking to the choir because I think Gen Z and millennials kind of know this already.
Well, yeah.
Because they grew up on online thing. Don't be fucking interacting with normies. Interact with people that you know are really fucking
nothing good comes of it.
No. No. And fucking male bodybuilders, I've asked other people, how much does that fucker weigh? Because if I ask him, he doesn't have time to answer that.
Yeah, they get lots
because they get all those
comments.
answer questions. So I asked somebody else, how much do you think that guy weighs? And fucking I'll get 3 or 4 other dudes who were in the comment section who goes, you know, because I believe he's about 275. And they goes, no, it's about 265. You know, so dudes that are fucking bodybuilding and shit, they read that and they read other people talking about him. So he's getting his affirmations.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But, you know, when you got a guy who's fucking, he's a top 1/4% of the world's population, yeah, people are going to be talking about him.
Yeah.
He's used to it. And you can't talk about somebody who's that extreme. That's why he's fucking posting.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I said, I just don't really... And the thing about it, like you said, is especially if they have like a lot of followers and stuff like that, you literally do not have enough time in the day.
They can't answer you. Yeah.
To answer everybody. Right. You know what I mean? Like I said, and I feel bad that I don't answer like a lot of stuff too, but it's just kind of like, I will answer if somebody like asks me a direct question usually. Yeah. Like if I see it. But, you know, I don't generally comment on other people. I don't spend a lot of time on social media or YouTube or anything anyway. Like I watch YouTube to like, I'll watch documentaries about whatever, you know, topic we're doing or something like that. Like if something strikes me as particularly funny or, like there's some fact in there that I want clarified, then I might comment, but I almost never do.
Yeah, and fucking, you know...
I just don't have time.
Jen's here, Kyle Vaslan's here. Fucking, they can attest. I really got into, like, the human body and the extremes of the human body, of what you could do with it, around the time my dad died. Because I saw my dad die. And me and Khan's dads, we died close together. All right.
Yeah, that really lit a fire under your ass.
Yeah, when I saw my dad fucking going through all that shit with them taking his heart apart and doing all this fucking bypasses.
Well, it was before he died, when he did the bypass, like, which was a couple years
I was looking at that
that.
And I was going like, I was looking at what my dad had become through age and neglect and a bad diet and kind of a sedentary lifestyle. I was like, all of this could have been prevented.
Yeah.
So I started getting into biotechnology, you know, and fucking longevity and the trade-offs between fucking performance and longevity and fucking... So I started going into that thing. And then I started to invest in fucking equipment. You know, I got a whole fucking gym over here and fucking working out and taking fucking hormones and doing all this shit. So a lot of people would go, you know, like, oh man, you're just fucking all into yourself. That's narcissism. Yeah, I want to live, bitch. I want to fucking live. That's narcissism. That fucking right. I'm more narcissistic.
Well, you don't want to decline.
I want to fucking live
the way your dad did.
Right, and when I die, I want to die strong. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't want any convalescence.
Nothing wrong with that.
I want to run until I just fucking boom, massive catastrophe. I'm gone. I don't want any of this slow fucking. And I did all my research and studied everything, and within a short period of time, man, fucking 2 years, I had made fucking good improvements. Now it's probably about close to fucking year 5, and man, it's night and day.
I gotta tell you that it's like, I'm really happy that, I think it was when your dad had the bypass. It might have been slightly before that. It might have been before that. That you quit smoking.
Yeah.
Because you had told me on numerous occasions prior to that, I like smoking. I'm never going to quit. It's good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
was like L. Ron Hubbard. That's just good for you. Make you stronger.
I remember you saying that shit. And I was just kind of like, okay. But yeah, when you saw that, you were like, yeah. And you stopped like pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
So like that kind of scared you straight, I think. Which I was happy about that because I was worrying about you.
Well, there was a lot of differences between me and my dad. But it was mostly the environmental differences. Genetically, we were very similar.
Yeah.
I can show you photographs of my dad when he was young and my granddad when they were young. And we all looked like brothers. We all looked about the same. Did I ever show you those pictures?
Yeah, I think
my dad and my granddad in their naval uniforms and shit.
Yeah, you showed me that.
When they were in their 20s. Yeah, we all almost looked like the same person. And I never met my granddad. He died of a fucking massive heart attack when he was like 40, like early 40s.
Yeah.
Southern diet got him. And he may have had some kind of congenital heart defect.
Probably, yeah.
He died rooting for a fucking black dude. Fucking in
it was a boxing match. Yeah.
Yeah, go get him.
And he just fucking died in his living room.
He died in the living room. And my grandmother heard him yelling, but then he got quiet. And she went in there to go check on him. This was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes later.
Because whenever men are quiet, it's like, it's like the kids. When the kids get quiet, you're always like, ooh, they're up to something.
She was cleaning the house. She went back and he had been dead for about 10, 15 minutes already.
Oh, I can't imagine. That must have been horrifying.
Right in front of the fucking recliner. Television going. Laying face down.
I don't ever want to find your ass like that. I'm just
saying. So, but I don't have any congenital heart defects. My heart's fucking strong as an ox. My mother's side of the family had fucking extremely good genetics for longevity, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, my grandparents on that side lived to almost 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't live all that healthy. They were overweight, but they lived to almost 100.
Yeah, my grandma on my mom's side, she was in her 90s.
My mom's still alive.
And she didn't, and she was always thin.
My mom had 9 siblings, and fucking most of them sisters. And her oldest sister is still alive, and she's 20 years older than my mother. Almost, I think 15 years older. And she's still alive, fucking kicking. Yeah.
Haidez says, I admit to trolling occasionally, but mostly for the online Karens. Oh, I'm a big advocate of trolling Karens. I mean, trolling shitty people.
Trolling's different.
That's different.
You can troll, but when you're talking to these hotties,
especially if you're like super funny.
Yeah. Talking to hotties, no.
Well, it's just so pitiful.
Right. The only time I've ever gotten any reaction from some hottie on Instagram is when I asked them a legitimate question. What brand boots are those?
Yeah.
They'll answer that. They go, oh, yeah, that's a good...
Because that's like a normal question to ask.
Right,
it's not just like, nice movie.
Yeah, and they're going, oh, yeah, those are cool boots. Yeah, we wear those at the club, too.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because it doesn't seem like you're like trying to get something.
Right.
Because, like I said, chicks like that, and like even me, and I don't even do that kind of stuff, but it's like I just get weird fucking messages and on Facebook and shit like that all the time, and it's like they're always like fucking simping.
I'm a fucking drama kid at heart. When I came up, fucking my friends in high school aren't here. I came out of a drama program, and I understand fucking show business. When I look at some of these people on Instagram, the real good ones that come to the top, it's show business.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what they're doing. And sometimes if they're, they got some girls that they can take some badass photos. And you can give them props for that, man. That's a fucking really good. But the thing is that you have to do this from the point of view of that she probably doesn't look like that in real life.
No, of course not.
She just knows how to take a really good artistic fucking photo. That's really good. So you just go, man.
Which
that's a really cool,
that's a nice photo.
Yeah, that's an awesome photo.
Even if she doesn't look like that when she wakes up in the morning.
Right. So don't be fooled by the fucking stage production that happens. Me and Jen
it probably took her hours.
Yeah.
To put all that shit on.
Jen has taken some fantastic photos that we can't show because they're fucking nude. Okay, we can sell them, fucking semi-nude photos fucking from our fucking other parts of our career. But no, you can take some badass photos.
Yeah, a lot of those came out really nice.
Yeah.
And I just took those with my phone.
Just with a phone, with proper lighting.
Yeah, and I'm not even
costume.
I'm not even super talented.
And costume, and yeah. But Jen can take some good photos when she wants to. But it takes a whole day aside.
Yeah, you have to put
that shit's work.
That's what I mean.
You got to set up the studio. It
takes a couple hours to do the outfit and the makeup and the wig and everything like that. Right. And you got to get the angles right. You got to get the background right. You got to it's work. And the photos look really good, but it's like that takes a long time.
Yeah,
it takes a long time to get them to look like that. I haven't done any in a long time. I just haven't had time. You know what I mean? But because, like I said, it takes a long time to think up what you're gonna do. Like, what is the outfit gonna look like? Like, what's the pose gonna be? Blah blah blah. So, but I do have some good ones. Klaus said, I smoke and drink. We drank a lot, but I used to smoke too, but I didn't smoke as long because Tom started smoking, I think, when he was a teenager, and then he didn't quit until he was in his 40s. But I kind of occasionally smoked throughout my 20s and 30s, but I didn't really start smoking a lot until I was probably my late 30s. And then I just started smoking then because I was hanging out with Tom and he smoked and I'd always kind of liked it. I would smoke at the club, but I didn't usually smoke at home. But then I started smoking at home. But then we both quit pretty much the same time. We started vaping and then we vaped for a couple years and then we just stopped doing that. So now we don't really even think about it anymore. I still like to drink though.
I'm hearing fireworks off out in the distance.
Yeah. I'd be sad if I went to the doctor and they said, "Hey, you can't drink anymore." I'd be like,
yeah.
That's like my main vice.
We're both pretty healthy. We're both very healthy though.
Yeah, I mean generally I think I'm pretty okay. I'm doing pretty okay.
There's so many good technologies you can buy. You can buy all the stuff to do your blood glucose. We were talking about the other day, your blood sugar. I got all kinds of robots that can do my fucking blood pressure. I should invest in it. You really don't need doctors as much as you used to anymore. If you're intelligent, you can buy the equipment at actually pretty good prices and fucking do all those tests yourself. And then if you did come up with something, you can go see a doctor. But what I'm waiting on, and they said this shit over 10 years ago, that a cellular phone with the right app should be able to send cellular signals through the human body and be able to form an image like an MRI. So you could scan yourself and get an entire fucking 3D image of you all the way down through your bones and everything. And then you take that image and you put it into AI and it finds cancer and shit like that in you. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm still waiting
so
for
you
that.
can scan like some Star Trek, the Star Trek's tricorder, because they say that it's possible. Well, where is it? How much you want to bet?
We'll get it one of these.
How much you want to bet it exists, but it's like a technology that would fucking cost rich people so much money that they paid to stop it. What do they call it? They call that a subversive technology? No, what do they call that shit? There's a terminology that they use. Disruptive technology.
Yeah.
Where it's a technology that would disrupt rich people.
But like I said...
So they stop it.
Yeah, that's happened a lot, but I think eventually it does filter out. It just might take longer than...
Yeah, people in some other country will come up with it, and then they can't stop it.
Klaus asked when... I guess asking when your dad died.
how long ago was that? About a year ago? Year and a half?
Yeah, I want to say it was like a year and a half or maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Because he went to Mississippi.
Yeah, I was there when he died.
And yeah, to like be with him when he died.
Yeah.
I think it was like almost 2 years ago.
Was it almost that long ago?
But I'd have to look it up. I can't really remember. Because you were gone for like a week or something.
No, I wasn't gone a week that time. I was only gone for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it was like 4 or 5
I was
days.
gone for a couple weeks the other time.
Yeah, when he got the bypass, you were gone 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks, yeah.
Because they didn't know what was going to happen,
right.
and like they had to keep, so he was like hanging out, like in case something bad happened. But yeah, this last time, he was already kind of declining. And
he was he was dying.
So.
Yeah, and the poltergeist told me.
Yeah, it was
Remember
weird.
that was weird.
The smoke alarm went off.
Smoke alarm went off, and I went, my dad's dying.
Just like one time.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just went back. It started making like noise, and not like the battery's dead noise, like I said, because we knew it, and we had just put a new battery in.
It does that though.
But yeah,
that had happened several times when something was happening.
Yeah.
If I started talking about poltergeist, the fucking thing would go off. It went off, and I just went, my dad's dying. So I called my dad. And he was in the hospital. He just went to the hospital
and they said,
earlier
we
that
just
day.
Took him to the hospital today.
Yeah, okay. Rented a car and drove down there. Boy, driving to Mississippi from here was so fucking easy. Now that they have GPS, and fucking it gave me a direct route, and it was so much shorter than back in the olden days when I would do that. We were doing it with map on paper, wasting all that time.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
It took me through Alabama and places I didn't even know existed, through these little bitty back roads to get there. It was a good trip, man. It was fun. Because it used to be you went up Florida to Biloxi, and then northward, you know what I mean, and go north through Hattiesburg and Laurel and everything to go there. No, it took me directly. It went through Alabama. I saw parts of the Alabama countryside. Fucking, I'd never seen it. It's fucking pretty. Like something out of the movies. Like something out of fucking Sinners.
Kind of Otson said it was the 8th of January, 2024. I remember we were talking about your father.
Oh, okay.
So about a year and a half.
About a year and a half, yeah.
So yeah, about right.
Man, we got fucking...
And he said, I remember because my father died on January 11th.
Okay.
2020.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about right, about a year and a half.
When I saw my dad get the bypass, and he was dying then, that was a couple years prior. Might have been 5 years prior. No, 4 years, three and a half. The bypass bought him about 4 years, I think.
Yeah, because I think we were still at the old house.
Yeah.
When you flew out there.
Yeah.
To see him that time.
Did I fly? Yeah,
yeah, because I remember picking you up at Sanford Airport.
Yeah, they picked me up. My aunt picked me up at in Baton Rouge. Not Baton Rouge. Was it Baton Rouge? Yeah, Baton Rouge.
Yeah, because I remember
New
going
Orleans.
Going to the Sanford Airport and picking you up.
They picked me up in New Orleans, yeah.
And like I said, you ended up being gone for 2 weeks. Well, you weren't sure because you bought a one-way ticket because you weren't sure how long it was going to take.
Got another ticket back.
And then... But you ended up being gone like 2 weeks. Because I remember going to Memento Mori by myself.
Yeah, and I can't believe he survived.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to die then. They saved him. They bought him another like 4 years. 4.5 years. But his heart continued to decline. The bypasses... His heart just couldn't pump enough fucking blood through his system. And what was weird is that... Before he died, like fucking probably a good 6 months before he died, I would wake up in the middle of the night like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And I'd have to go out on the fucking couch to try to run from it. I kept on having these weird feelings of like not being able to breathe. It turned out that's what my dad was going through. He said he couldn't breathe. He said he felt like he was suffocating.
Yeah.
It's because his heart couldn't pump enough
through
blood through his system. Yeah,
he kept getting up in the middle of the night, and then he'd have to go in the living room and the...
Yeah, he could breathe all he wanted, but he couldn't get enough oxygen because his blood wasn't circulating. So I was getting kind of like weird fucking psychic fucking updates on what was going on. It was weird. But, you know, I've had weird shit like that happen my entire life. Just read the book Jenny wrote about fucking Mammoth Mountain. And my aunt and uncle witnessed it and everything. I've had all kinds of weird out-of-body experiences and poltergeist events and weird, spontaneous psychokinesis, things being thrown, I didn't touch them, that kind of shit. Things being ripped down.
Tanya Marie said about photographs. She said, I feel I look better when I'm not aware I'm being taken a picture of.
Yeah, but
I get kind of awkward otherwise. I'm like the opposite. Like, mine usually have to be very, very strategically posed. If somebody took like a candid photo of me, like 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be like I'm going to look like fucking Quasimodo.
If you're going to take an erotic photograph, of a woman, the lighting's got to be right. The angles have to be just right. You're trying to make things look as round as possible. You know what I mean? Like, boobs have to be just right. What she's wearing, it's very strategic. It's just like painting a painting.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's just like that. So it's not the same as a lifelike photograph. It's not like that. You're making an erotic photograph, and that's how all those girls get famous on OnlyFans, and they know how to shoot porn, and they know how to fucking make pictures. They put the pictures on Instagram and try to filter you to fucking OnlyFans, and then when you get to OnlyFans, they're making pornography. And me and Jen made pornography with each other, sold it. There's an art to that also.
Yeah.
Even if it's very spontaneous looking, there's still an art to it. Because there's a lot of spontaneous shit that looks like shit.
It pretty much always does.
You know how, you have to understand how fucking camera angles and editing works this shit.
And lighting. Lighting is a big thing.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that's why we don't usually, because like sometimes we think about it, it's like, oh, bring your phone in here and we'll film some shit. But it's just like, it's too dark in there. You can't really see, like, the angles are not right. It's just kind of like,
Also,
it just doesn't look good.
Subject matter, situation, all that's a factor in the video. And you would think that you could take like a beautiful woman, a beautiful girl. She's like an 8, okay? She's gorgeous. Because 8 is gorgeous. 10 almost doesn't exist. She's like an 8. And then if you were to just shoot her from any angle and it all work out, it's going to look great. No. You still have to understand the basics of camera angle and lighting. And they got some girls that are good at doing it just with doing a selfie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's an art to that. But there's also limitations with that. Like, you're not going to get different changes of angle or changes
you can't. I mean, most of the pictures that I took that came out really good.
Yeah.
We have a ring light, which is right there, that we use for and it has like a little arm in the middle where you can put a cell phone.
Yeah.
And most of the best pictures that I took of me were made with that.
Yeah.
But like I said, they were mostly all, you can't get a whole body shot because if you get too far away from the ring light, like the lighting gets all fucked up looking.
Yeah, it's not.
But it takes beautiful like face
shots,
like face and tit shots.
Yeah.
Like if you want that, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you back up too far, it doesn't look as good.
Right.
So, but I took like a lot of amazing photos with that. It's just like, I was like, ooh, I look fucking magical.
Yeah, no severe filtering or anything.
No, I don't filter my photos.
Yeah.
Like the ones that I had up on whatever the fuck, is it ManyVids or whatever? Because I have like, we have videos on there, but I have like a bunch of photos on there too. But, I don't do anything to them. Like I said,
there was color filtering though and stuff though, wasn't there?
No, I didn't do anything to them.
All right.
Because if I didn't like them, then I didn't put them up. Because I took 1 million.
Okay.
Like I took 1 million of like, if I had different wigs, different angles and stuff like that, and I picked out just the best few dozen.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything to them.
Yeah, and during that period, she probably took fucking 500 photos.
Yeah, easily.
And we probably cut maybe about 12 or 13 videos, maybe 20 videos, all in a period of maybe about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, it's hard work, man.
It is very hard work.
And then,
like I said, I was mad respect for people that do that for a living.
Yeah.
Because, man,
you get sick of it quick.
What a pain.
And then, really, that's only the first part of it. Once all the material's produced, you have to promote it. Which means you gotta sit on fucking social media and constantly post. And man,
it's
you
a
don't have
full-time
time
job,
for that
man.
shit. Yeah. So a lot of the girls actually hire dudes in India to do that for them. They give them all the material.
To do all the marketing,
do all the, because you
have to keep hit.
Yeah,
because there's so much competition.
There's so much competition. If you're not constantly posting photos and fucking teases over and over again, you won't get enough traffic.
No.
So me and Jen never really did it for big money. We were mostly just doing it for kind of like street cred.
And for fun.
Most of the videos that we sold, a couple of them were for people that actually just buy stuff off of fucking mini vids. Because you got some guys that will they only want amateur stuff. They don't want any.
And we got we got a couple custom requests, like one that I did, like that was a custom one.
Yeah, I did a couple custom requests. And then we got some people from the show. They went over there and got stuff. But that was not really, that effort was really only kind of like a side experiment just to see. It doesn't make much money. What we made money from was live streaming. That was actually a lot better chunk of change off of StreamMate.
Yeah.
And that's a pain in the ass.
It is a pain in the ass.
That's another pain in the ass. You got to sit around on a live stream fucking for a long time. You're not saying anything, and dudes are coming in. It takes a while. It's just you're basically like a hoe standing on a street corner waiting for a motherfucker
It's exactly
to drive by.
like that, but
It's exactly like standing on a street corner and some motherfucker driving by. Hey, how you doing? And you're
like
sweet
that.
talking a bitch, and you're gonna go private for that $6.99 a minute.
yeah, because in your public room where you can't really do anything, that's free.
Yeah.
But you're trying to lure them into a private thing where they're paying however much it is, like $3.99 a minute, $5.99 a minute, whatever it is.
I think we were like $5.99 a minute, weren't we?
Something like that.
So, yeah.
Which is about standard.
And we had a couple of big spenders. We had some.
We
regulars.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
We did, yeah. But like I said, most of it is just sitting around waiting and like people popping into your shit and being like, hey, like trying to get you to do shit for free, which technically you're not supposed to do. Like there's a couple things you can do in the public area, as they call it, which is the free area where people can just pop in and out and see what you're up to. People do get away with it. I mean, they can't monitor everybody, obviously, so some people they'll just be straight up having sex in there, which you're really not supposed to do. But like I said, I was kind of like, man, I'm not giving any fucking thing away for free, okay? So, you know what I mean? So we're just going to sit here until somebody comes and wants to pay for stuff. But like I said, most of the time you're just like sitting around waiting for somebody that's not going to waste your fucking time. And that takes a while, And like some days, because for a while when I was out of work, like we would do it like all day, pretty much, 5, 6, 7 hours. Like we'd take a break, like every, like for an hour every now and then, like to eat lunch or whatever, but it's just kind of, then we'd go back to it, and then we'd be sitting there, and most of the time you're just sitting there
listening to music.
Yeah,
and it's when I first got into that, I thought, well, this might be pretty easy. No,
it's not. It's really
not. And fucking we did it because Jen was in between contracts with her jobs, because she does a lot of online work for graphic design, and we're like, well, we could try this out.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
And
I did have a lot of fun. Like I said, we did it
as a couple.
We did have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, it's just that, man, after a while you're like, oh man.
But yeah, it got kind of boring.
It's actually easier just to do fucking an honest day's work. Even though it is
in some ways,
my opinions on it changed. It is honest work. I was a salesman too. I was a fucking actor. You're trying to make a product to sell to somebody. You're trying to get some dude off. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's all.
And we don't really
Nothing
read
wrong with
into
that.
it. We're just putting on a show.
Yeah.
And we had a good time doing it. Our clients were mostly bisexual dudes.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see a couple.
Yeah.
And they wanted interaction and validation. They turned their cameras on, and they were good-looking dudes. A lot of fitness guys. So
they wanted a virtual threesome.
Yeah, virtual threesomes and shit. And I'm telling you, I'm like, yeah, dude. And
we're like, all right.
Yeah, and I got the camera. I'm being the cameraman and shit during the whole thing, And you would. It was just kind of fun. We took it seriously like a business, but we didn't take it personally. That'd be a good way to put it. We didn't really take it that personally.
We were just trying to make some money.
Make some money and have fun. And trying to have fun with them. And when we first got into that, we thought we were going to be dealing with some real scuzzy motherfuckers, and it was quite the opposite.
Everyone was pretty normal.
Guys that had money, and they were pretty normal.
We didn't really get any weirdos.
No.
Not really.
Well, we got trolls every now and then.
Yeah, but everywhere has that.
That's everywhere, yeah.
That's everywhere. Klaus says, "What? Jenny wrote a book? I've written lots and
she
lots.
She wrote the Boz
of
book.
them.
She's published
I've written lots and lots.
Just
and
go
lots
on
of
Google
books.
and go Jenny Ashford. Is it Jenny Ashford Ross or Jenny Ashford?
I'm still keeping all the shit under Ashford because that's what I wrote under my old name. Because that's what
go to her Google author page.
Or Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon author page.
Amazon author page. She probably got 20 books easy.
Just Jenny Ashford.
Yeah.
Is it 20? How many is it?
Oh, you got a shit ton of books.
I wrote a book with him about poltergeist.
Horror books, true crime.
I wrote 3 other
yeah
paranormal books. Like one is like a poltergeist British encyclopedia type thing.
Steve Mera, who's a British parapsychologist.
Steve Mera, who's a parapsychologist.
Yeah.
I wrote 3 true crime compilations. Actually 4 because I just put up one like a novella length one that was all unsolved murders. It's all unsolved murders, like from different years. Like the first one is from 1900 to 1950, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 of those, and then like I've been putting out ones like for every year. So I just put out one in the 2000, and I wrote a couple of horror novels, a couple of horror like short story compilations, and a graphic novel. Yeah. So I've written like a shit ton of books.
Yeah, and Jen is a grammar and spelling Nazi. Her shit is fucking perfect. Okay, and she's other writers have worked with her where she's fucking done fucking read through their first drafts and ask for changes. You know, because she does also book reviews and stuff. She's fucking super good. Her horror is great. Her true crime and her paranormal stuff is fucking really good. It's like going through a documentary. She gives all the sources and everything. She's she's not fly by night. She's the real thing.
Well, I really enjoy. I particularly do enjoy doing true crime, and I have a blog, crimeimmemorial.com, and I put up a different unsolved murder every day. Yeah. I usually do them like a week in advance. Like I write a whole bunch out at once and then like schedule them. And I also have a channel, like another YouTube channel called Crime in Memorial. I only post on there like once a month, but I do videos. And I have another channel other than this one called The Scare Salon, which is all kind of longer form horror stuff. I probably only post on there once a month or once every couple of months because I'm so busy doing this show because I do movie and book reviews over here too that I don't have time to do that. But yesterday, if you didn't see it, I did post. If you've been keeping up with that channel also, I've been doing a series. I've been doing Night Gallery and I've been doing Thriller with Boris Karloff, like just one episode at a time. But I'm also doing a series picking out my top 5 favorite movies from every year since I was born.
She did a great documentary on horror movies too.
Oh, and that's on this channel.
It's on it's on YouTube.
I was gonna put it on my Scare Salon channel, but that one's not monetized. Because I don't have enough subscribers. So I didn't put it over there. I put it on here because I figured I'll probably get more traction on this channel because I worked a really long time on that. It took me like fucking forever to do. But yeah, so I put up a video yesterday that was my top 5 favorite horror movies from every year since I was born, and it was from 1985. So I'm 13 videos in. Gee, only like 40 something to go. Yeah. Oh my god, it's taking so long. Yeah. But
So this show is not the only show. Jen's a big producer.
I have a million things going on because I have to make work for myself. I can't help it. I don't know what my problem is. It's just kind of like I get an idea to do something and it's just like, man, but I got to do this, that, and the other thing because I have like a regular job too. Like I have graphic design, I have freelance. And it's like that usually takes up a lot of time too, but then it's like, oh, I should review this movie, and I should do a video about this, and sometimes it's like I just make a million fucking, and that's why I'm always stressed out. But most of it's because it's my own fault, really.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but most of it is because it's shit that I want to do. Oh, and like I said, and I also design and make board games.
Yeah.
And card games.
And card games.
These things are good, man. Check these things out.
Which I just do that for fun.
Yeah.
That's how I relax. I make board games.
Yeah, she makes shit like this.
Yeah, that one.
Get that card game.
Oh yeah, actually, this is my newest one. Yeah. That one is based on the Haunted Summer, like Mary Shelley and Percy Shelley and Lord Byron and all that. This one, I think I showed it a long time ago, like when I first published it. This is just a card game. It's called Dear Departed, and it's basically kind of like based around like a Victorian era seance, is what it is. But yeah, like I made all the cards. Like some of them are like shiny.
Show them the cards.
You know, like this one's shiny. Yeah. That's like a special one. Ooh. Yeah. That's like a possession card.
A possession card.
Yeah. And this one is a cease communication.
Yeah, they're kind of metallic. They're metallic colors.
Well, there are special ones. Like most of them are normal, but there are special ones in there that are like. But this is all like it's all like spirits that you can like contact, basically. Like I said, it's like a Victorian seance type of card game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I made this one. Like I said, I just made it for shits and giggles. I like designing board games. I barely sold any of them, but I don't know. I just like making them. Like I said, I have a million of them. I have whatever that one you showed. Yeah, that one was based around, like I said, the Haunted Summer.
You got like 5 of them over here.
And there's some over there too.
Where?
So there's some over there too under that Shining one.
Which one?
I did under the Shining. Like that's I didn't design that, obviously. No, you bought me that.
I can't pull that down because all that shit will fall.
Yeah, but I have a couple back there. Like there's one that's based on the mythology behind the Dario Argento Three Mothers trilogy.
Yeah.
It's called The Three Mothers. So I did one based around that.
I can't take the camera over there. The cord isn't long enough.
I did like an Edgar Allan Poe trivia one where you're supposed to like get out of you have to answer trivia questions about Edgar Allan Poe stories and then like to get out of this castle thing. I did like a ancient Egyptian tomb one. I did one based around like Belle Epoque, like you know with the absinthe and stuff, like with all the absinthe bars like in Paris back in the day. What else did I do? I did a Halloween one. Like that one's like a real big deluxe. It's kind of expensive, but there's like a big deluxe one about like a town that's all about Halloween and stuff. And
Jen makes really cool looking shit.
And I made card decks also.
All of her stuff looks super fucking cool. All right.
But like I said, I just do that for fun.
Yeah.
Because that's what I get. I get to do that just for me. Because like designing board games is kind of like it's all of the things that I like to do, like in one thing. Like I get to write like a story about it and like rules, and then like I get to design all of these different parts that go together, and it's like, and I'm really into that.
She was showing me that before the show started, and I was like, fucking man, if we had had that last time we were at fucking HorrorCon. If we had a bunch of these, I could have sold them.
Yeah.
You know? Because she makes all kinds of cool stuff. And really, she sells that off. What's the name of that? What's the name of the site?
It's called The Game Crafter.
The Game Crafter. She's got it on
the Game.
So how would they find it on the Game Crafter?
You just look up The Game Crafter, and the name of my store is Giallo Games. Because initially, when I first started that years and years ago, my thing was I was going to make all these games that were just based around Giallo movies, because I had made the Three Mothers, or is it called the Three Mothers?
I don't know.
Let me look. I guess it's called the Three Sorrows is what it's called. Which is kind of based around the whole Suspiria mythology, the witches. And I also have another game that's just like a card game that's like Giallo title generator type game, because I thought that because there's a Giallo title generator online that I always thought was like super funny. So I kind of made a card game like based around that too. But then as time went on, I was kind of like, man, I want to expand out. I want to do like other stuff. I want to do an Edgar Allan Poe one. I want to do like an Egyptian one. I do an absinthe one. I did a card game based around like art theft, because I'm really into like old like Renaissance art and stuff. So I did like an art theft game. I don't remember how many games I have on there. A lot. But I mean, I started like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's funny because my problem, I think, my weakness, is that I love doing the shit, but when I'm done with it and it comes time to like promote it, I'm not interested anymore. Right.
And you see,
like I'm like, I don't really want to promote it. So it's like, so I have like a whole website full of games that I never tell anybody.
Yeah,
that I never tell anybody.
On the show or anything. It just some of they sell, but not very much. If they were actually promoted, they would. That's what I was saying. Like, man, I wish we'd had all these games when we were at the fucking conventions, because I could have sold all that shit.
Yeah.
She fucking would, every book we would buy in stock, we'd show up with fucking 50 books and I'd sell every one of them bitches.
Yeah, he's good at that. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm a very good tangible salesman. I was a champion.
I'm good at making stuff. I'm not good at selling stuff.
No, you put me, especially if and we were drinking at the fucking convention, at HorrorCon. And, and we're handing out booze to people. But
yeah, we brought like a whole big bag of like little airport bottle.
It was kind of a party environment. I sold every one of the fucking books we had in stock. Yeah, and had I had all that kind of shit, I could have sold every bit of it.
Yeah, I didn't think of it.
But we didn't have it then, and we'd have to buy it. We have to.
Yeah, you have to buy it, and they're not cheap. I mean, I will say
all that shit's fucking expensive.
Because I mean, the Game Crafter is a cool website because it's like there's bajillion different kind of boards. They have all different kind of pieces you can pick from. You can make your own custom pieces, shit like that. But obviously that all adds up. So it's like the more shit that you have in your game, the more expensive your game is to the consumer. Yeah. Like I said, the Halloween one that I made, I said to myself, I don't give a fuck how much this one costs. I'm just going to make this exactly the way I want to make it. It's going to have like little wooden pumpkins and all this other kind of shit. And it's like, and it came out looking really fucking cool, but the thing is like $100. You know what I mean? But I'm like, still, it's like, I just wanted to make it.
There's a really good YouTube channel called Beer and Board Games. It's fucking awesome. I love that shit.
They've been on like fucking forever.
And they will fucking play a board game and record it, and the shit is fucking funny. They were actually like Hollywood writers, some of them.
Yeah. They're from the like Midwest like comedy scene. Most of them. Yeah.
Well, I was like, man, if we could get some of your games on fucking Beer and Board Games, you'd sell.
I did look it up. It's kind of
they want so much money
to sponsor
the.
Well, yeah, I think it was back when I checked. I think on their Patreon, you can sponsor an episode for $600. And they will play your game, which I'm sure, but I don't know.
I don't know if you can make $600 off.
I don't know if I would make $600, but I mean, they have a huge audience, and they've been doing it for a long time. But I don't know. I'm nervous about it.
I don't know what the market response would be.
That's what I mean.
You might flush $300 down the toilet.
Right.
You might you might actually get a bump from it.
Yeah.
But they make a lot of videos. And I was thinking, when you actually do the numbers and do the profit, you'd probably be lucky to make $300.
That's why I was reluctant to do it. Like, had it been cheaper, I would have probably done it.
Yeah.
But
had it been like $200,
because they have a massive platform.
Right.
But I don't know. Like I said, I'm just kind of like, making shit is like really interesting to me, but marketing shit is like the most boring shit ever. And I could do it, but it's just like, I hate it. I just hate marketing stuff. I feel like I make stuff and I'm just like, wow, that came out really cool. And then I'm like, okay, on to the next thing. It's like, I'm just not, If I was like more single-minded, I guess, and it's just like, if I just made one thing, like, here's this board game and I spent like 2 years making this and then I had this whole business plan and all this other kind of stuff, like, I probably should have made some money off of it. But it's like, that just, I don't know. It just doesn't interest me. Just making it, like making the idea of it is like really interesting to me. But once it's done, I'm always kind of like, oh man, I have an idea for another one. You know what I mean? Or I have an idea for another book, or I have an idea for another project. I'm not interested in like continuing and like marketing that because I'm done with it.
Let me freshen that drink up.
Yeah.
Okay.
My ice is melting.
Yeah, right.
My ice is melting. Klaus says, this is the most chill stream on YouTube.
Is it?
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Is that good or bad, though?
I mean, I guess that's good. We're not, like, hysterically screaming and stuff. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and the cookbook. We made a cookbook, too. Because so many people ask, because we would always talk about food, like, on these live streams. And everybody was like, why don't you just write a cookbook, for Christ's sake? And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, because, like I said, I love to design books as well as board games. So I made Tom sit down over, like, a couple of weeks and talk and, like, dictate. And then, like, I wrote it all into a book and, like...
When me and Jen first conceived of fucking 13 o'clock, the idea was not to be some kind of blockbustery, kind of super controversial
Because I hate that kind of shit.
What we wanted to do was we wanted to have we wanted to be online professional friends. That's exactly what we were talking about. Like, okay, yeah, just like a hangout show. That's what we were looking for, and that's really kind of what it became. Go to the restroom.
Yeah, because that's always what I was interested. I don't really like the YouTube channels that I like. They don't court controversy for controversy's sake or just for clicks or whatever. Just for engagement. I really, really hate manufactured outrage, manufactured controversy, people yelling at each other. I can't watch that. It just gives me anxiety and makes me feel bad. Most of the shit that I watch is like chill, mostly shit about horror movies. I watch a lot of horror channels or true crime channels. But it's usually like just real chill shit. Just people being regular fucking people and just talking like regular fucking people. Nobody's yelling. Nobody's like arguing. I can't watch that. It stresses me out. Tom loves that kind of shit, but I can't watch it. Like I said, I have enough stress in my life. I don't like need more stress compounded on top of it by all of this conflict and people yelling at each other. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. We didn't really think too much about, we just got into doing this because we didn't start live streaming until about like our 200th-ish episode. I think our 200th episode was the first one that we live streamed because we were like, ooh, 200th episode, like that was a special thing. And then when we started doing that, we're like, wow, I like that better. I didn't think I would because I was terrified. Because I thought, oh my God, like I'm going to sit there like a dumbass and not be able to think of anything to say, because up to that point, everything we done was recorded ahead of time and like edited. So if we fucked up or, went off on a tangent, I could just edit it out. But when we did live streaming the first time, even though I was scared to death, I ended up liking it much, much better.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot better, like, back and forth. It's a lot better flow. And I didn't really have... I guess the drinking helps. You know what I mean? So I'm not, like, worried so much about, like, just sitting there and there being, like, dead air and shit.
Well, okay. I already had a background in theater, doing fucking leads and shit in the shows. Graham Thirst, he's not here today, but he and I were in the same drama program.
I saw him earlier.
Was he in there? Okay. So my friends ended up fucking making it in Hollywood and stuff. All right. My ex-girlfriend did. We're still friends now. But I always knew that live was the way to go because I loved live performance. And this is so much easier than what I was used to because I don't have a sing and I don't have to fucking remember lines. This is what we call ad-libbing.
Well, yeah.
And I was kind of amazed that Jen took to it so well.
I was too, to be honest with you. I didn't think I would.
But...
because it scared me to death.
But like, what it goes to show you is it goes to show
nervous.
But what this goes to show, and this is something I've known for a long time, is that acting isn't all that special. I was a fucking awesome actor. I could have been as one of the greats. At least I could have been like Tom Cruise, no problem.
I thought you were going to say, I could have been Laurence Olivier.
Yeah, well, that dude. Genetics has a lot to do with that dude. He was tall and fucking thin. He looked great. But, no, I easily could have been Tom Cruise. We're the same size and shit. He's probably a little bit, I might be a little bit taller than him. But
you're a lot less crazy than him.
A lot less crazy than that.
Which is saying something.
But fucking, similar generation. He's a little bit older than me. But not that much older. But I just didn't want to be an actor. Man, it's so fucking fake. You know what I mean? And I wanted to do real shit. But it's not hard. A lot of people can do it. People think, well, it's a rare talent. No, it isn't. I bet you 1 in 3 can do it.
Honestly,
yeah.
talent in general.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of a Stephen King quote that always stuck with me. And I think he said this in Dance Macabre, which he wrote in 1980, which is a book that I've read 40 bajillion times, so many times that all the pages fell out. But he was talking about writers, but it's kind of the same thing. And he's like, he said, talent is a very cheap commodity.
There's a lot of it. Yeah.
He said the thing that kind of separates the wheat from the chaff is persistence.
Yeah.
You just keep fucking doing it, and you just keep getting better at it or whatever. He's like, there's lots of people that are probably could have been talented enough to make it or something like that, but they just didn't have the stick-to-itiveness. Yeah. They didn't really want it that bad or something like that.
Well, Robert Smith from The Cure kind of said something similar to that. He said, we're a good band, but really what made us great is that we wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
We just kept fucking playing. We forced them to deal with us.
Now I'm not going to say, you have to have talent to start with.
Yeah.
For persistence to work.
But you have
if you just suck.
Yeah.
And you keep hanging around, then you're just going to annoy the fuck out of everybody.
Anvil.
That's exactly Anvil. Who I was thinking of. Although they achieved their own fame.
They became a meme.
In a
heavy
sense.
metal meme. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess they achieved some kind of success in a way.
No, the Cure were great. They're good. But
I still can't believe that they're around still, after all this time.
Their mains, they got a lifetime achievement and all that. Got a lifetime achievement awards. And fucking Robert Smith and the Cure, they're a great band. But really what made them great is that they wouldn't fucking go away.
Yeah, they just hung around.
They just kept fucking...
Here we are again. Here's another album. It's good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all their albums were good.
Yeah.
That they just wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
There were other bands that might have been a little bit better that went away after 3 albums.
Yeah, that couldn't hack it. I don't want to say they couldn't hack it, because maybe other things happened.
Yeah.
But I think persistence is a really underrated quality in the arts. Like I said, if you have the talent to begin with, a lot of people are talented. A lot.
Yeah.
In various things. But you also have to have... You just have to have the fucking drive to keep plugging away at it. Even if you don't get anywhere for a long time, you just have to keep fucking doing it. And so you have to like it enough to do that.
It's almost like that. It's like that with everything.
Yeah.
In any job in the civilian world is like that.
Yeah.
And this is just another one. Just keep going.
Yeah, you just keep on.
Fucking beating at it.
Just keep on trucking.
Yeah.
So like I said, you have to pick something that you like doing enough that you're not going to get sick of it and burned out, I can't
believe I've been doing this close to 10-something years.
Yeah, we started doing this in 2016, and like I said, it was I
can't believe it.
When we first started, it was just the regular show, doing paranormal / true crime. Then later on, because so many people asked us about movies, we started doing movie reviews, so we did 2 shows a week. But they were all recorded and edited, and like I said, in the old days, it was like a slideshow format.
Yeah.
Which took forever.
Yeah, but that was hip in those days. To have the slideshows.
Yeah, nobody does that anymore, but a lot of people did that back then.
Yeah.
But they took fucking forever to do.
Yeah.
Sourcing all those photos and editing them all together, God, it took ages. So that was another...
When we went live, man, the fucking
audience
instantly responded.
And that was another thing that...
We went live and be like, "This is what you guys look like." Yeah, this is what we look like. Fucking.
I always wonder what they imagined that we looked like before.
Yeah. And we got
there was pictures of us on the
what
you call it, but
but they didn't all know. They're like, "Yeah, this is what we look like," and the fucking and then
that wasn't always.
We got a much better response.
Every single time that I've listened to a podcast and I didn't know what the person looked like, and then later on I find out what they look like, they never look like what I expect. But the thing about it is that
I don't think we disappointed, but
if you had asked me to articulate what I thought they would have looked like, I probably couldn't have told you.
Yeah, I don't think they knew what we looked like, but I don't think we disappointed them either. Fucking because people,
not.
Because the crowd during that era, they kept with us, and we still have some regulars from that time.
From that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that if you have a show like this, you're lucky to keep a person for 6 months.
Yeah,
they outgrow the show. Their interests go elsewhere. That's just the name.
And there's a bajillion channels on YouTube. I mean, seriously, I'm always stumbling across new ones.
Yeah. We watch YouTube. We don't watch television. We don't watch fucking. We'll watch fucking YouTube and Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Or like, HBO Max or Shudder or something.
Shudder, yeah.
It's all streaming, but like...
Yeah, streaming stuff.
But yeah, I mean... I don't know, there's some YouTubers that I've watched for years and years and years. Beer and Board Games.
Yeah.
Brandon Tenold.
Yeah.
Dominic Noble. I love him. Especially his Lost in Adaptation series. He does other stuff too, like book reviews and stuff, but I like his Lost in Adaptation series. He's super funny.
There's shows that I found that turned
Nick Duramio, I love him also.
Fucking world changing like I was fucking watching Tim Pool back before he was nothing. Now he's fucking huge. That's a huge fucking kind of commentary show. It's just it's amazing what YouTube has become and social media. It makes so much more sense because me and a lot of y'all who are out there in the audience we're X generation, we came up in a very formatted fucking environment where all the shows were very formatted. The news was fucking very formatted and controlled. And fucking, I'm so happy that all that shit's going away. That the corporate control is going away. The only thing that I fucking really regret is how bad fucking Hollywood sucks now. Hollywood used to be the fucking envy of the world. They used to fucking come up with really good fucking movies that were fun to watch. All the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, just everything. Even the fucking, movies that would be like Cape Fear, and shit like that came out, and fucking Fatal Attraction, and the U.S. used to make fucking great movies, well, the U.S. does still make great movies. It's just that it used to be that Hollywood made great movies. Now they make fucking trash, and anything coming out of the United States that's good now is coming from these tends to be not everything, but tends to be from some of these smaller studios. Like Blumhouse, some of their shit it's hit and miss. Some of their shit's really good. Some of their shit's mediocre.
Not so much.
Fucking, it's just
I admire their business model.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's breaking up into smaller studios and smaller producers that are fucking specializing.
Well,
in
and
shit.
a lot of streaming services. Even though I realize that a lot of streaming services, if you didn't know, are actually owned by the big Hollywood studios.
Right.
But a lot of the original content they make is really good too.
It seems to be going more towards fucking series.
Well, yeah, because I mean that's
yeah.
Look at how much more ad revenue you can get. Like somebody watching, sitting there binge watching like 4 seasons of a series, rather than just like 1 2-hour.
You
movie.
just don't want the movie art form to really pass away, where the movie art form becomes kind of like epic poetry. Like who goes to listen to poetry anymore? Nobody.
I'm sure there's some nerds out there somewhere.
But back in fucking the 1300s, poetry was the shit. You know what I mean? So you don't want that to happen. You still want to be able to go to the movie, see a fucking badass fucking flick. It has to be condensed down to an hour and a half, 2 hours. There's constraints. You know what I mean? It's not like The Walking Dead where you can have fucking... Well, they got about 4 good seasons. After that, it started to go downhill. But so there is something still about movies that is great. Like The Substance. Great fucking
Holy
movie.
Fucking shit, that was so
great
good.
fucking movie. And it was just 1 episode. All right?
That movie was fucking bonkers. I loved
fucking
it.
great, man. And you had fucking epic ass fucking what's her name? What's that?
Not an American director either. I will say.
What's
and
that
a female
what's the chick's
director.
name? Demi Moore.
Demi Moore, yeah.
In her 50s.
And that was a female director. Also.
Yeah, Demi Moore in her 50s, nude through half of the shit. She still looks fucking great, even though they were trying to say she looked like shit. And it was just a very compelling fucking body horror movie.
Big time.
That fucking went out with a bang. I mean, that bitch got crazy at the end. And then what was it called? Midnight with the Devil?
Late Night with
the Devil. Another fucking
That was my
epic
favorite horror movie of last year.
fucking
Substance
movie.
was number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, The Substance and Late Night with the Devil. But man, Late Night with the Devil was so fucking good. And I love that movie.
And what was great about them is that they were in the movie format. There's 1 episode. That's it. Pow.
Another great one, man, with good sci-fi fucking romance action that they never followed up on, and it was a big budget movie. Battle Angel, Alita Battle Angel. The first fucking episode was great. There should have been another episode, but it never came out because it wasn't the kind of heroine that they wanted. I guess she was too femme. I guess I don't know what it was. There should have been a part 2 to that. I love that movie. I own it on Blu-ray. So there's been a lot of really good movies. It's just that there's something wrong with these studios, man. What the projects that they're selecting are not very marketable. People won't come out and see them. But there are some, like I said, the movies we just mentioned. You know what I mean? So I don't flush it all down the toilet.
Well, and like I said, I kind of feel like too people that make that criticism. Like I remember growing up in the 80s and 90s, and I went to the movie theater a lot. Like back then,
there were some shit movies.
A lot of the movies back then sucked too.
Yeah, they
you
did.
know what I mean.
But they didn't have. But they had really good tentpole movies. You knew when a movie was gonna be good, though. The word on the street would be like, oh, like the word on the street for The Thing was fucking good, even though the movie flopped. Me and my dad saw it twice when I was a kid. I loved fucking Dino De Laurentiis' fucking Dune. Saw that, I fucking loved it, even though that kind of flopped.
It did flop.
Yeah, I was like, this is a cool flick, though.
David Lynch wanted to take his name off.
Yeah, I was like, this is a cool flick, though. And then the fucking Dino De Laurentiis fucking Flash Gordon. I saw it 3 times in the theater. Loved it. It flopped. But those movies are still around, and they have a fucking big fan base.
A lot of movies. This doesn't always happen because sometimes, like, a movie comes out, even back in the day, and people recognize, oh my god, this is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
But as I've been going through, like, my Scare Salon series, where, you know, I'm, like, talking about, like, my favorite movies from every year, like, my favorite horror movies, and a lot of the movies that I ended up really, really liking, like, for example, I just did 1985, so I was talking about Life Force, the Tobe Hooper movie, and man, that fucking tanked when it came out. And he had just done Poltergeist like a couple of years before. Yeah. People were not ready, I guess, for naked space vampires, but man, I love that movie, and it's like, and I'm glad that it finally. Some movies like The Thing, you know, obviously that's a masterpiece, but nobody really recognized it at the time. John Carpenter seems to have a lot of movies like that. That when they come out, other than Halloween, which was a huge hit, but it's like when they come out, people don't really appreciate them until later.
Now, my boy Khan of Atslan comes out and he mentions how good Underwater was, and I'm going to vouch for that movie.
That was great. That was like way better than I was expecting.
Owned it on Blu-ray. We saw it twice. Didn't we see that shit twice in the theater?
I think we might have, yeah.
And fucking loved it. And it's that girl from fucking
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart, which she was kind of like, she's known from a vampire flick. Was it
Twilight?
Twilight. And people were like, oh, I ain't gonna see her movie.
No, man, she was like in a bunch of other stuff.
She
was in this really weird like ghost story movie that I reviewed called Personal Shopper. She was in the movie about the Runaways. She played Joan Jett. So she can do shit.
Yeah.
Well, Robert Pattinson too. That was also got you know.
People are asking about Underwater. If you like Blade Runner, if you like fucking Alien and Prometheus and like fucking Ridley Scott's version of the universe, it's like that. But in this one, she is a chick that works deep underwater on this deep fucking mining platform. And it's in the future. It's kind of like out of Blade Runner or Alien. And it turns out that Cthulhu was a reality, so it's Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
Undersea monsters attacking the fucking facility because they dug too
that's
deep.
Definitely Cthulhu.
And fucking, it is awesome. And the movie flopped. It fucking flopped. Totally unjustifiable.
Like, oh, it's an Alien ripoff.
Yeah, it's an Alien. Oh, it's a fucking. What's the other underwater fucking movie that they kept saying? It was like, oh, so it's kind of like fucking. Leviathan or some shit like that.
Well,
it is its own fucking. It was its own fucking movie.
There's no new ideas, people.
It was just come just
watch
mention
it.
Just mentioning that movie makes me want to go in there and fucking watch that shit again. I'm gonna watch
That
that.
was like that was like way better
very
than
good.
I was expecting.
And she's very good in it. She's very much kind of like an Ellen Ripley type character, which you might criticize. Well, that's the Ripley again. Yeah, but not really.
Not really. She's not really.
Not really. She's
like Ripley.
She's just a chick she works there. She's just trying to survive in the fucking underwater fucking platforms going to hell. It's
weird because this might be a weird thing to say, but it's just like you have a dude in a movie.
Yeah.
Like a regular dude, and he is getting some horrible situation and has to survive. Nobody says, "Oh, that's just like this one dude."
That's Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but it's just like when it's a woman, they always compare it back to this one
like Ellen
female
Ripley.
character.
That's like saying Furiosa is Ellen Ripley.
Yeah, because people don't recognize.
Yeah.
In a weird way, they don't recognize women as like individual. It's like so they all have to be like that one.
I understand all the criticisms that the manosphere and this and that and the girl boss. I understand that, but and even other fucking channels like Midnight's Edge, which is a great fucking channel, they would go like, no, the Furiosa movie is not a girl boss movie. That is a fucking good movie. It was a good Mad Max movie. Mad Max is not in it for very long. He does do like a little cameo, but it was its own story.
Well, it was called Furiosa.
The only problem
it was about her.
There was only one problem with the Furiosa movie. It came out too late.
They should have done it sooner.
Had that come out 2 or 3 years after fucking Fury Road, there would have been no problem.
Because Mad Max Fury Road was one of the best movies ever. That movie was so fucking awesome.
Furiosa should have come out 2 years later. And fucking it would have been a hit.
Yeah.
Go to the restroom.
All right, so we got a super chat like a long time ago. And
I saw.
Yeah, DVD Dragon sent us some money, so thank you very much. I saw David Cronenberg's The Shrouds, a weird meditation on death, really about the death of his wife, worth catching when it comes on streaming. I will definitely check that out because I love fucking David Cronenberg. I love like the whole Cronenberg family. David Cronenberg especially, but Brandon Cronenberg, man, he makes some good shit too. And a while back, I reviewed the first film that his daughter, Caitlin Cronenberg, made, which was called Humane. And I liked that quite a bit. It's not really like their movies. It was kind of like a satire. But I was pretty into like a very violent satire. Like a little science fiction. It had a sci-fi kind of vibe to it, but it didn't have like the same kind of vibe that David Cronenberg and Brandon Cronenberg's movies have. But I mean, fucking Brandon Cronenberg made Infinity Pool, which, man, I loved that fucking movie. I thought that was so fucking good. I think we saw that in the theater too, now that I'm thinking about it. Haida said, thank goodness for A24. Yeah, but pretty much everything they put out is like worth watching. Even if it's not horror. Like, I'm usually like into their horror shit, you know what I mean? Because that's just how I roll. But I've seen some of their stuff from like other genres, and that shit's all good too, you know? So, hey. Let me see. Hold on. There was a bunch of stuff I wanted to fucking address. Oh, where was it? Yeah, Zach said you guys had picks up on YouTube for a while before you started doing this video. That's what I thought too.
What was that? What did he say?
We had picks up on YouTube before we started doing his videos.
But a lot of people don't investigate
but they don't really see
They don't care.
CB said, Tom, I thought you were Jenny's gay friend when I first saw you. You're my gay friend.
CB's been with the show for like a year, maybe not even a year, that bitch.
You're right. That's pretty funny. Oh my god.
That bitch is talking shit. He's just trying to get some booty.
Well, yeah. Yeah, everybody says thank goodness for A24. Seriously.
Yeah,
A24 is killing it. Yeah. Killing it.
Yeah.
Like I said, and if you like kind of more lowbrow horror, yeah, I'm kind of like Blumhouse, like you said.
Yeah.
They're kind of hit or miss. Like some of their movies, I'm just like, meh. It's a little jump scare-a-thon, which okay, I'm not really into that. But they've put out some good shit though.
They had that one. I think it was pretty sure it was Blumhouse. The one where they had the fucking Superman, fucking anti-Superman spinoff. I fucking loved it.
What, Brightburn?
Brightburn. Wasn't that fucking...
Was that Blumhouse? I don't think so.
Wasn't that Blumhouse? It's either Blumhouse or A24.
Yeah, well, look it up. I'm not really sure.
And then they teased a sequel that had another anti-superhero in there. And they never got around to it.
Well, now, didn't Blumhouse make
Brightburn's fucking good, man. If you're a superhero, if you're a Superman fan, see that.
Didn't Blumhouse,
it's a horror version
didn't Blumhouse make Blink Twice, which I reviewed on my channel, on this channel, not too long ago, and that was actually way better. That was Zoe Kravitz directed that.
Yeah.
And
she's directed movies?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay. That girl's so cute.
And the thing about it, I didn't think I was gonna like it because I saw the previews a long time ago, before the movie came out.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it's like vacation horror, which is not usually my bag.
Yeah.
But so many people said, no, it's really good. You should watch it. And so I watched it. I'm like, man, that was really fucking good.
Yeah.
It ended up really
I didn't see it. What's it called again?
Blink Twice.
Okay. You got to show it to me.
Because I remember, I reviewed it on my little series.
Zoe Kravitz
she directed it.
Okay.
It's super fun.
What studio?
That might have been Blumhouse.
Might have been, okay.
Might have been Blumhouse. But I'd have to check. And didn't also Blumhouse do The Black Phone, which I also ended up liking much more than I thought I would. I think that was Blumhouse. I'm not entirely sure. And that was based on the Joe Hill novel, who's Stephen King's son, in case
over
you
the
didn't
past
know.
4 or 5 years that we've been doing this kind of review type shit, might even go back before that. Blumhouse and A24 keep coming up over and over again as having a superior product. Even though it's low budget, but it's done well.
You don't need a budget.
You don't need a big budget. You need a good story.
You need good actors. You need a good fucking story.
Yeah.
Anything else is just frippery.
Yeah.
You don't need all that crap.
I even think, what was that, Tall Man might have been fucking A24 too, right? With fucking what was the one?
What are you talking about?
No. The one that had fucking the crazy ass bitch. Fucking. Come on, man.
What are you talking about?
I'm drunk now. I want to say it was Tall Man, but it's not Tall Man. Thin Man or fucking, what's that shit called?
What are you talking about?
The weird ass witch dude that could take over your mind and get you to kill your own family. Fucking that had.
Who? Long Legs?
Long Legs. That's what I'm talking about. Long Legs.
Legs.
Wasn't that A24?
Might have been.
That was a good one,
the
man.
one with Nicolas Cage in it.
Nicolas Cage.
That was a weird fucking movie.
Yeah. A very unique movie.
That was Oz Perkins.
Yeah, we saw that.
Directed that.
We saw that in the theater.
That is Anthony Perkins' son.
Okay, yeah.
I have liked all of his movies are weird as fuck.
Yeah, weird.
But I've liked every single one of them. If you've never seen The Blackcoat's Daughter or I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. He also did The Monkey, which I still haven't seen yet, which is based on a Stephen King short story. I still want to kind of see that. Because, like I said, I'm all about, especially if you're doing horror, this is why I love Robert Eggers. I love, Ari Aster. All those dudes are super, super into horror, and they're like, fuck it. I'm just going to make the weirdest shit possible. I don't care if anybody likes it or not.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Long Legs seemed
was weird, man.
I talked about that because I picked that as one of my top... if you saw, I don't remember if I put it on this channel or if I put it on my Scare Salon channel. Probably on this one. But I did a video that was my top 20, my favorite horror movies of 2024. And Long Legs was in there. And I think in that section, I said I'm pretty sure, at least in my estimation, it seemed like that was the most divisive horror movie of the year. Because it was super hyped, you know? And so I feel like some people thought it didn't really live up to the hype. But I saw what he was doing, though. Like, he was trying to make this weird-ass version. It was almost like Silence of the Lambs. Because it was like a weird, police procedural.
Yeah, I was going to
say... But then it had, this really weird... Well, all of Oz Perkins' movies are, super cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. They're very, kind of off-putting in a weird kind of way.
Yeah,
and it had that vibe.
Alienating and cold.
Yeah, all of his movies are like that. I think I've seen all of his movies except for The Monkey at this point, and they all have that vibe to them.
I kind of thought at the time it reminded me. What's that series called? Something of the True Detective, or what was that called? The one they were in Louisiana.
Yeah, I know.
What was called? What was the name of that? Something or other detective.
I think
it was a series.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Television series, and they had these detectives down in Louisiana were fucking True Detective. Is that what they're called? True Detective, I think.
Yeah.
The first season, and they homed in they were finding all these weird occult type looking murders, and then they homed in on a damn sorcerer basically in Louisiana who was having sex with his sister. Weird motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it turned out he was actually opening up a dimension into another universe. Fucking, I
As
think it
one
was
does.
called True Detective or something.
As one does.
It was a weird ass movie.
Yeah.
That kind of reminded me of Tall Man or Long Legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. If you guys remember the name of that series, fucking Joff.
I think that's what it was called.
I think it was called True Detective. I think the first season.
Grabter says, great A24 movies. The Lighthouse. Oh my god, I love The Lighthouse.
Yeah, it was
Oh my
good.
god,
It
that was so
trippy ass
good.
look.
We saw that at the theater.
I'm not even sure what that was about, but I enjoyed it. I was like, what the?
Like I said, I love
The Lighthouse. That was
I love
weird.
filmmakers that are just kind of like, I'm making whatever the fuck I want to make,
Yeah.
and I don't give a shit.
It meant something to him,
I don't give a shit.
but I'm not sure what it meant. It was just weird.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I have to watch that one again.
That's why, see, I've never been a big fan, even when I was younger, I've never been a big fan of crowd-pleasing movies.
Yeah.
Or, like, movies that are obviously made to, like, appeal to the widest possible audience.
No,
because
that
you
was-
know that it's just, like, if it appeals to everybody, it appeals to nobody.
Yeah.
I feel. So I don't really like that. I would rather a director just be like, fuck it, this is my vision.
Yeah.
And I don't give a crap if people get it or don't get it.
we were.
That's why I've always been a big fan of, like, David Lynch and stuff. Like, he did not give one single fuck about whether people liked his movies or not. He's
saw
just like,
Lighthouse.
whatever, I'm just going to make whatever I want to make.
We saw Lighthouse.
You
in the
can like it or not,
We,
I don't care.
we saw the Lighthouse in the theater, and the audience was like stunned. And then when the shit fucking ended, some people laughed, other people were pissed off.
They're
But-
like, what?
But I was like, okay,
What did
all
I
right,
just
yeah,
watch?
all right.
What did I just watch?
Him looking into the lighthouse light, but I don't know what it was about. It was about drinking lighthouse fucking oil.
I was into it.
Yeah. Two dudes going crazy out on a fucking island with a lighthouse.
Yeah. There's mermaids. It's like, it's crazy.
Mermaid jerking off the statues of mermaids, all kinds
Sure.
of weird shit happening. Dudes
Killing
losing
seagulls.
it, losing their fucking mind.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The lighthouse itself becomes a god. I'm not sure what it was about, man. I had to see it again. It was something. It might have been symbolic, or it might have been just a big mind fuck. I'm not sure, but it was a good movie. I liked it.
Like I said,
it was a good ride.
I
was
would
like,
much
what the fuck was
rather
that?
watch a movie that was like fucked up and interesting
Yeah.
than watching some crowd pleasing
Yeah.
like thing that was just by the numbers.
This goes
like,
back to what I said before. Movie making is an art form in itself because you're limited in the amount of time. It's not
Yeah.
like a series where you can tell a whole story. It's you're trying to tell something within 90 minutes. Okay? So how are you going to get this done in 90 minutes? There's something about the time limitation actually is part of the challenge. You know, if you could get it done in 90 minutes, then fucking maybe a little bit more, and it comes out satisfactory, you enjoyed it, then that's a movie. You're telling a tale. It's storytelling.
yeah.
You know, and you're trying to tell as much story as you can in that time, in that amount of time, and it has to be visually pleasing and fucking emotional. You know, it's a very interesting genre because with a series it's so much easier because you got time.
But yeah, you got loads of
You
time.
got time,
You can
right.
make it as long as you need to.
Yeah.
Like a novel.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean, novels way easier because you don't have to pay for like actors or visuals or
Yeah.
anything. You can just write shit down and like people think of it in their heads. You can
Right.
make it as long as you want.
Right now we've been watching Farscape, and we're in season 4. We've loved Farscape. Farscape is. I remember seeing it when it came out, just episodes here and there. But back in those days, it wasn't on demand. You had to actually be on television watching.
Yeah, the first season
and you
came out in
couldn't see it all.
1999.
Yes, Farscape is a strong series.
It's weird. I didn't think I
Very
would like
good.
it because, like I said,
Very good.
I used to see commercials for it all the time in the early 2000s
Yeah.
because I always taped MST3K on the Sci-Fi Channel. So
Yeah.
I would always see commercials for Farscape, like when I watched the tape
it's
the
very
next day.
good.
And so I'd be like, oh, okay, that looks kind of funny. And it's just like, I never really thought about it otherwise. But then, like, Tom was like, man, I saw that, like, a few episodes of that, and it was, like,
I
seemed
loved
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
And then, like, they had the first 3 seasons for free on Amazon Prime. You have to pay for the 4th season.
It's worth it by the time you get the fourth season.
Yeah, it's like $18 to buy the fourth season.
You get wrapped up into it.
But yeah, by the time like we finished the third season last night, I'm like, whoa, we gotta see what happens. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my god,
it's very good.
But yeah, like all the character interactions and stuff, and it's it's Brian Henson, the Jim Henson Studios.
Really good special effects.
So all of the puppetry and stuff like that is really good.
Great costumes, great writing. The series knows what it is. It refers back to itself. It's got a good humor, a lot of action and a lot of adventure, a lot of romance in it. Got good relationships and stuff, friendship, girlfriends, romantic relationships. It's all in there. Also, I would say it's as good as Star Trek, but it's the Next Generation, but just not as constrained because these people aren't in service. They're criminals or
they're
misfits.
All,
So you never know what's going to happen. Like you got a character on there, Ciarra. She's this hot-looking alien chick who's like in her 20s, and she's a slut. And they're calling her a slut. She does slutty shit. She tries to sell pussy. She does.
And she's just like,
there's drugs involved.
Hey,
there's people committing crimes.
That's just how I do. Sorry, and they're just like, okay.
It's very free flowing, but then there's like villains and shit involved. And
the authorities are always after them because they're escaped criminals.
And there's one human with him. He's an astronaut that got caught up with this. His name's John Crichton, and he's kind of the center of the story. And he's trying to get back home, but he's not sure if he actually wants to go back home because he's fallen in love with these alien chicks.
As time has gone on.
Yeah, these alien chicks fucking love him and stuff. So really, it's in a way I consider it to be a retelling of Flash Gordon. Where you got a human guy.
It's like Flash Gordon mixed with Star Trek.
Yeah, Flash Gordon.
Kind of.
Right. Very good. I fucking loved it. And then there's a movie after the series.
We got to see that one too. Because like I said, we just started season 4.
But I didn't know they had action figures and all kinds of fan service.
It was
for
huge.
This
I remember it being huge.
Yeah.
Back in the 2000s.
But you can watch the first 3 episodes for free on Amazon Prime if you're an Amazon Prime.
The first 3 seasons.
First 3 seasons, yeah.
But the fourth one you got to pay for. It's $17.
But by that time you're going to be invested.
You're going to be like completely invested.
I got to see it.
And you'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah, if you didn't see Farscape, see Farscape. And after we get done with Farscape, we're going to watch Lex. Because
I think Tammy recommended
that. We're going to watch Lex after that.
That came out around the same time period. I think Malcolm.
And I never got to see
Malcolm McDowell.
I never got to see all of Babylon 5. I saw a few episodes.
They have that on there.
It looked okay, but that's a little older.
Yeah.
Farscape visually is fucking really good. Really good costumes. It looks really
nice still.
Expensive costumes, a lot of good practical effects. It's just and great writing. Great traditional writing about storytelling.
Well, and all the characters are good. And all their interactions are good.
Yeah.
And like I said, they're all kind of mercenary in their own ways.
Everybody's after their own fucking shit.
So
they betray each other.
And they kind of like each other, but not entirely. You know what I mean?
They don't entirely trust one another.
Right. So they're always kind of like, So there's always kind of like
and it's
that.
a good mixture of characters. You got fucking young teenage alien sluts. You got fucking hot female alien warriors. You got like a fucking Diargo who's kind of like a Chewbacca, but he can speak. You can understand what he's saying. That's like your alien fucking bro. And he's friends with Crichton. And then you got a little fucking floating little fucking toad-looking alien who was a king on his own planet that got deposed. He was a Dominar. What do you call it? And he's fucking snotty as fuck, but he's fucking funny.
Yeah,
there's all kinds of... There's just a lot of good characters. Then you got the blue chick who is a plant, a living plant, but she's all fucking holy and wise. And
she's like a priestess.
Yeah, she's like a priestess. And they're all criminals. She murdered her boyfriend.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit, Most of them are criminals, not all of them. Some of people just got caught up.
Yeah, they were just kind of like... Or got in prison for stupid reasons.
They got in prison, because on their planet what they were doing was fucking illegal. Yeah.
Zach says... You haven't mentioned Hereditary yet, Jen. I was gonna get to that.
Hereditary was a good one.
Oh my god,
Hereditary was good.
I honestly,
movie,
legit, Hereditary is the best horror movie to come out in the last 20 years. I would, I would say that easily. And I'm always looking for, because I fucking love horror movies. Like I said, I would watch them all day, every day. If someone would just pay me to do that, that would be my ideal life. But they don't, they don't really scare me because I've seen so many of them. That movie fucked me up. And I know, like, it doesn't usually, you know, there's kind of like two, I don't know. I guess there's two camps of, like, people that see that movie. Like, people are like, that wasn't scary, whatever. We saw that in the theater, me and Tom and Shauna and her husband, whose name is Eric. We saw it in the theater, and me and Shauna, after that, we were like, what the fuck? Like, we were just kind of like, oh my God. And, like, I had nightmares about that movie, and that never happens. I think the last time I had nightmares about a horror movie, I don't know, maybe The Ring, the Gore Verbinski one, that kind of gave me nightmares for a little bit. But before that, it was probably like the first time I saw The Shining when I was a kid. You know what I mean? When I was like 9. Like, that kind of fucked me up, like The Lady in the Bathtub. But it's like, other than that, like, horror movies don't scare me. Like, I write horror, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I love it, but it's like, doesn't scare me. That movie fucked me up. I don't know what it was.
When I first saw it, I was just like, I thought it was too much.
Movie fucked me up.
I was like, but then I grew to like it a lot better. I liked Midsommar instantly. I own that movie.
Midsommar is also great.
love Midsommar. And that which was related, I think it's the same director.
It's Ari Aster, yeah.
And the way, and it reminded me a lot of fucking,
Wicker Man.
And it kind of done a little bit more modern. It was fucking more bizarre. And it had fucking Florence Pugh. Which fucking, I love that girl.
His big-headed girlfriend.
Yeah, she's got his big little head and his little body. And fucking, I like all her work. I thought she was great in the fucking Fighting With My Family movie. But I like Florence Pugh. She does good work.
But yeah, I don't.
It was a good movie. That one and Midsommar.
Well, Ari Aster, like, I'll watch anything that he does. I mean,
he's into fucking weird folk
here's
horror.
The thing. Yeah,
witchcraft.
And the thing about Hereditary is that, and he did the same thing with Midsommar, or Midsommar, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
He put so much little detail in the background that it's like you have to see the movie, like a whole bunch of it, like all the symbolism and all this other kind of stuff. I legit like watched a video on YouTube. It's in my watch later playlist still. I can't remember the name of it exactly or what channel it was, but he did like a 4.5 hour breakdown of all the shit in Hereditary, like all the shit that was in the background, like all the symbolism, all this other kind of stuff. So he puts so much fucking meticulous detail into his movies, and I mean, you gotta love that. You gotta love somebody that's that fucking.
It's called Midsommar with an O.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spell it for you.
That was a great fucking flick.
I think it was this. Midsommor, right?
Sommer.
E-R? No, I didn't think it had an E. I thought it was an O. Midsommar.
Well, there is an O, but it's the first one's an O, and then the second one's an E.
Okay,
I'm pretty
the
sure.
second one's an E?
Midsommar. Or no, it's A-R, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, Midsommar. With an A.
Like that. Like that. Is that right? I think mine's right. Midsommar, right?
A-R. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Midsommar.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you want to see that one.
That's what I said.
Yeah, if you liked Hereditary, see that one.
They're like totally different, but thematically
same theme.
Kind of similar.
More action in Midsommar. It's about a bunch of students that go up to Sweden to study the habits of this old fucking like Swedish Nordic style cult. And when they get there, it's fucking bizarre, the shit that they're doing. And they make all kinds of mistakes and they pay for it with their lives. That kind of shit. And Florence Pugh's the only one that survives it. And they kind of make her like a queen in a way.
Yeah, she's like the May Queen.
She becomes the May Queen. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, I really like folk horror as a subgenre. If you haven't seen it, there's a fucking fantastic documentary called, I think it's called Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched. And it's like 3.5 hours and it's all about the history of folk horror. It used to be on Shudder. I don't think it is anymore, but I think it's on Amazon Prime for free because I rewatched it not too long ago, and I think I saw it on there, and I didn't pay for it. But if you're into folk horror at all, it's really good. Like, it's really, like, in-depth. Like, if you're not into folk horror, you might find it really boring, but I found it, like, super fascinating. I just sat there, like, entranced, like, for the whole, like, 3.5 hours, you know what I mean?
You said that movie's stupid. It's a cult. Well, of course it's a fucking... It's a cult. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's a horror movie.
Well, yeah.
It's folk horror.
Yeah.
If you don't know folk horror, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. Fucking, it's folk horror is about the horror that fucking weird, old-fashioned white people could do. It's like witchcraft.
Yeah. Well,
old pre-Christian religions.
Hereditary was also
Hereditary
about
yeah.
witchcraft.
Yeah.
But just like in a more
right,
like modern suburban American setting, like a witchcraft cult.
Yeah.
And like demon possession. The thing that freaked me out about Hereditary, I mean, aside from all the fucking horrifying scenes in it, was just the insidiousness of it. And like I said, if you watch it again, because I've watched it 2 or 3 times at this point.
Yeah. See, that bitch
Yeah.
lives up in fucking Norway or some shit like
okay.
that. He didn't want to have all that.
Yeah, okay.
But fucking no, bro. It was just a wild ass fucking movie. Okay, because it was about a cult up in the fucking where you live with all the damn Scandinavians and all the crazy shit that y'all used to do. And these motherfucking guys are still doing it. It was a good movie. It scared us. It scared us real white people. You fake white people up there in the north, fucking, you know what I mean? It's just, maybe it's normal to you, but to us, that shit was scary.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
What was I saying? Okay, so I got interrupted. So
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Yeah, he's just mad
But
about me.
no, I was saying that I think the thing about Hereditary that was scary was that how insidious it was, because by the end of it, you realized that this family, the Graham family, have been manipulated the entire time without realizing it. Like, because if you watch it again, like, just little members of the cult and stuff like that are always in the background. There's always, like, always.
Yeah.
So they've been, like, fucking manipulated from the very beginning. Which, like I said, I thought that was really cool because the whole thing where the character of Annie, where she built these little models, you know, of different rooms and stuff like that. And it's just, like, so they were kind of, like, drawing a parallel between her making these little... What now? All right, I'm going to get pee.
No, he's saying in Norway that's normal. See, look, man, now you're making her mad. She had to leave, see?
Well, you keep interrupting me.
I'm not interrupting you. She's not mad. No, fucking, I thought Midsommar was a fucking great movie. You know what I mean? And Hereditary was good, too. Hereditary took me a couple times to watch it before I kind of like was like, yeah, it's pretty good. The first time I saw it, we saw it in the theater. And when that girl's fucking head got bashed in, I just fucking during the car thing, where their head was outside the car, I just laughed. I was like, "What the fuck is this movie?" I didn't appreciate it, you know what I mean. Then at the end of it, I kind of fell asleep a little bit, and at the end of it, I saw the fucking little, fucking offering and all the weird the shit that they did with the dead bodies and all the candles and everything. I was like, yeah, that's pretty fucking creepy. I had to see it a couple more times because she owns it. We watched it a couple times. Like, yeah, this is pretty good. It was a little slow for me. Midsommar was a little more fast paced, and it was easy. It was kind of easier to understand than Hereditary. Hereditary wasn't, for me. It wasn't really easy to understand. I didn't realize that the girl was some kind of fucking weird, had a weird birth. What was that girl? She was kind of like a born sacrifice or something, wasn't she?
Well, they were trying to birth someone that would house the demon.
The spirit of the demon, right? Yeah.
Paimon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But because it was a girl, the demon wasn't super into it.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I'll kind of just half-assed sort of, but they wanted a boy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He didn't want to be a girl. Yeah.
So it was that. So there's like I said, there's a whole fucking lore like behind that, and the cult was manipulating the family without them knowing like the entire time. That's what, to me, that was what was like horrifying about that movie, is to find out that they'd just been that they had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. But Klaus fucking, he said that fucking the shit out of Midsummer, that's normal up in Norway. Remember the fucking black dude, he fucking accidentally pissed on the ancestral tree.
He wasn't black?
Wasn't he black? No, he was black dude, wasn't he?
No.
I thought he was black dude. Was he black dude or white dude? What happened to the black dude?
It was a white dude.
It was a white dude? But
I even remember the actor that played him.
He pissed on the ancestral tree. I got him confused.
I can't remember the name of the actor, but I've seen him in lots of other
I thought that was
things.
the black dude that pissed on it. He accidentally pissed on the ancestral tree, and then they fucking had his ass strung up. Later on, you see him, they strung up inside that fucking greenhouse, and they gave him the damn blood wings. They gave him the Viking blood wings. His fucking cut open his back and had his fucking lungs outside his body, and he was like hanging above all the little plants, and they were using him to fucking fertilize the plants or something. It was fucking bizarre. I thought, what'd they do to the black dude then?
I don't remember.
I thought that was the black dude that
No.
extra pissed. Okay.
No, I remember that actor. That was the white dude.
Okay. Something happened to the black dude. I don't remember. Each person fucking had their own fucking fate of what they did to him. It was, and it wasn't like mean spirited per se. It's just that this Norse fucking cult had their own ways, and if you fucking fucked with them, or if you fucked up their magic, they did fucked up. Who is it that got sewn into the bear skin?
The Florence Pugh's boyfriend.
The Florence Pugh boyfriend, right? Okay.
Who, not gonna lie, I mean, he didn't do anything overtly bad, but he did kind of suck.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I didn't really feel that bad.
Yeah.
About
set him
getting
on fire.
sewn into a bear suit and set on fire. I was like, meh.
They set him on fire. But they also
He
set
kind of sucked.
They weren't just killing outsiders though. They were also killing their own people because it was time for them to die. They had to sacrifice themselves in certain rituals and shit. So they had one dude sewn inside of a bear skin, and then another one of their own people that had that, and then they set the whole fucking room on fire. Which is like, it makes sense if
After they made that guy
yeah
breed with one of the...
Yeah, that's right. And they were shaking their fucking uteruses around to get
and
the
they were
fucking
all
cum
like
to go in.
surrounding them.
Yeah. That's they do that shit in Norway every fucking day. Klaus will tell you.
Just Tuesday morning, y'all. That's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Oh, CB said it's 3:10 where I am. Good night, everyone. Okay, yeah.
All right, see you, CB.
Go to bed, CB.
Go to sleep.
It's pretty
still early here.
Yeah, it's only 10 o'clock here. We're fine. Yeah, Heido said the boyfriend was an asshole. He stole the black guy's thesis. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like I said, the boyfriend didn't do anything. He wasn't like, a Nazi or nothing like that. But it's just like, he was just like an insidiously shitty person. Yeah. So I didn't feel, I know this is terrible, but I didn't feel bad at what happened to him. I just didn't.
Well, I remember, I don't remember all the details, but I just do remember that the cult kind of knew the nature of each one of those people, and they kind of like fucking took care of them accordingly, according to their fucking belief system. I just don't remember what they did to the black dude.
I don't remember either. Like a bunch of them, well, some of them like kind of vanished off screen.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but...
I'm not saying it was racial or anything. It's just that I thought it was the black dude that got fucking the blood wings. It wasn't him.
I don't think so. I mean, the dude that peed on their tree.
Yeah, I thought that was the black dude.
No, that was that goofy white guy.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Like I said, I have to go back and look, but I'm 99% sure it was that goofy white guy. That guy, like I said, I can see his face. I just can't think of what that actor's name is because I've seen him in other stuff.
Yeah, somebody peed on a tree, which didn't seem like it was a big deal at the time. Turns out that this tree was like, basically it's the tree out of Norse mythos, the fucking tree of life. That's what they're talking about. Their ancestral tree.
It is kind of rude to just pee anywhere.
And fucking they freaked the fuck out. And he's like, "What? It's just a tree." You're like, yeah, but that's the wrong tree, basically.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, and then he ended up, next time you saw him, he was hanging in a greenhouse with his lungs fucking torn out of his back. And they were keeping him alive, but he was like hanging over the. It was fucking bizarre.
Oh yeah, High Desert said I think the black guy got whacked in the head because he was taking pictures of their sacred book when he wasn't supposed to.
Is that
yeah,
what it was?
I think you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
That's right.
All right. You remember?
I think I remember that.
Yeah. I
But
remember
yeah.
when they first showed up there, that woman fucking took a dive off that fucking cliff and hit head first in that fucking rock.
Well, it was her.
She
and
got
the,
too old.
and the old guy.
Yeah, when they got too old,
They
they
both
killed
just
themselves.
jumped off. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking. I was like, whoa, this is gonna be a
And
good
that
movie.
was just like what
Wow.
was expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Like the special effects were pretty.
Yeah, and I was like looking at it from the viewpoint of fucking having seen, as a goth kid, having seen The Wicker Man. And I think that was the movie.
God damn it, I love The Wicker Man.
And I think that's kind of what they were. Not talking about the fucking
Not the
second,
fucking remake.
not the remake. We're talking about the original Wicker Man.
Not the bees.
Yeah, the bee. Yeah. Although I want to see that one again.
I mean,
want to
that
see
one was
the
funny
remake.
as shit, but that was unintentionally funny.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure they were trying to
Yeah.
get people to take that serious, which made it even funnier. Holy crap, that movie was a dumpster fire.
What was that dude's name again in the
Nicolas
fucking
Cage.
second one?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Yeah, I want to see the Nicolas Cage
Was
Wicker
in it.
Man again.
Wasn't Ellen Burstyn in that too?
Yeah. But the first Wicker Man is a fucking classic
Oh my
English
god,
movie.
it's so good.
Very good, very good.
So good.
It's about a fucking pagan, pre-Christian, British Isle fucking cult living out on an island, and fucking Christopher Lee.
Summer Isle.
He's there,
Isn't
and
that what
he's
it's called?
fucking in charge of the cult. He's
Lord
keeping the
Summer
old
Isle.
pre-Christian ways.
Yeah.
And this British cop shows up, trying to set them all straight. He's Christian, and he's a virgin too. It's a wild.
And he
fucking
is
movie.
annoying as fuck.
Yeah,
Sergeant Howie.
yeah.
I was kind of. That's another thing. I know I'm a terrible person. Okay, at least when it's fictional characters involved. But I wasn't sad about Sergeant Howie getting put in the Wicker Man and burned alive. I was like, man, that dude was like a fucking
Yeah.
sanctimonious dickhole.
It was a
Yeah,
good.
burn him.
It's a good movie. It's
That'll
kinda
shut him the fuck up.
illustrating the inner turmoil within the Caucasian heart between Christianity and fucking the old ways. Which my boy fucking Canavatslan, being Mexican, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Being torn between Catholicism and the way and Aztec Mesoamerican fucking religions, which were similar, but they were very different in the way they manifested themselves. But that's, fucking his son saw fucking The Norseman, which is a fucking great retelling of fucking, if you like Conan, you got to see the
The Northman.
The
Yeah.
Northman. Yeah, Northman. It's like Conan, but it's the original.
That was also Robert Eggers, I think.
Yeah, fucking great flick. And fucking his son saw that and he goes, "Oh, okay, so the Vikings were like the Aztecs, basically." And it's like, yeah, it's about the same shit. Very similar to the Aztecs. Yeah. Great movie.
Klaus says, worst movie must be Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I will acknowledge
Man, I had to turn that shit off, man.
that Cannibal Holocaust is a very significant movie in horror history.
It's an important movie,
it's
but
the
you don't want to watch it.
first
Yeah.
found footage movie.
Yeah.
When did it come out? 1980? I don't know. Technically, I think it's like the first movie that people would recognize as found footage. It's a great movie if they didn't kill real animals in it. I'm not happy
As soon
about
as that dude took that stick and it wasn't even
That's
that sharp and
fucked
stuck it to that little quadamundi, I was like, nah, I ain't watching this shit. I walked away. I was like, nah.
Yeah, we reviewed it a while back. Which, well, like I said, I will watch a lot of shit in horror movies. Look, do all the shit to people you want. I don't give a crap. Like, don't do it for real, obviously. Like, don't make a snuff film. I don't want to watch that. But it's just kind of like, all the shit with people and that was fake, but all the stuff with animals was real, and I am not about that. I'm not about that. So, I can see why they got brought up on fucking charges, because they're like, hey, you killed animals for real. Maybe you killed people for real. So they ought to, like, show up in court and be like, look, it's the actors. They're not dead. You know what I mean? But it was, like, a very significant movie. And I do like it in some ways, but I just wish that shit wasn't in there. I just wish that wasn't in there. Because the Italians, man, they seem to give zero fucks about killing animals in a movie. Because I've seen other ones, too, where it's not as egregious as that. But they really don't have any well, they didn't back then. they had no qualms at all about killing animals for a movie. Like, they just did not give a single shit. So, not great. Not great. Let's see. Yeah, Tiny Murray said Campbell Holocaust can get wrecked for all the animal abuse. Yeah, there's a lot of animal abuse in that. Like, a turtle gets beheaded, like a big turtle. Like, it's pretty messed up. Like, I've watched it a couple of times, but it's pretty fucked up. Grandpa says, worst movie, Human Centipede. I saw the first Human Centipede. Did I see the second one?
I liked the Human Centipede. I couldn't get through the second one, but it was too boring. The second one
was kind of boring.
Too boring. I was just like,
the first one was actually kind of funny.
I liked it. I liked the first one.
I mean, what a great idea.
Yeah. And
I was like, why didn't I think of that?
It was fucking grossing me out. I was like, oh yeah, but it was very horrible.
Anything to do with pooping,
yeah.
I'm gonna have a hard time.
Going back to what
I can watch all kind of gore all day long. I can watch people be eviscerated and beheaded and stuff, and it doesn't bother me one bit. But the second you start doing like stuff with poop and vomit, I'm just like like the whole time.
Going back to the Cannibal Holocaust, there was a lot of good. There was a lot of good in Italian cinema. They came up with some.
I really, really like Italian horror, actually.
And I liked Italian westerns. Well, not all of them, but Sergio. What's his name? What's the fucking bitch's name?
Sergio Leone.
Sergio Leone, yeah. Sergio Leone was he had some really good shit. And there's a lot of their Giallo was really good.
I love Giallo movies.
And
even the shitty ones.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Something about it.
Man, that was a good idea. But no, man. I understand that they were trying to be as edgy as fuck.
Well, it worked.
But you just don't kill animals like that.
Just for a fucking movie.
For a movie. Yeah, no. But because they did that, it was a notable movie.
Yeah, everybody remembers that.
But I couldn't watch it. You know what I mean? As soon as that dude tried to stuff shit, the cute little Quadamundi, and that fucking dude stuck that stick through it. It wasn't even sharp, really. And I was just, and that thing's begging, no, please. And I was just like, nah, I ain't gonna. And then I just heard about some of the other things that happened in there, like they cut a turtle apart, while it was
they cut the turtle's head off, and
fucking
I've seen it.
They cut the base of it off. They cut its chest open and shit. Like while it was alive, it was flapping, trying to get away. And I was like, ah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There's no reason to torture an animal at all. I'm a hunter. Ever. And torturing it for a movie is fucking, that's horrid, And he went to fucking court, didn't he get sued for all that shit?
They thought that it was a snuff film because they thought, if you killed the real animals in there, then they thought that they killed the people too. Because I mean, I will admit the special effects were actually really good, and it did look like that could have been the case.
Yeah, as a Western style hunter in North America, we take a lot of our. And this goes back to my dad, my grandfather in Mississippi. We took our hunting ethos from the Native Americans. You're supposed to make the pain of the animal fucking instantaneous because you're supposed to honor this animal. He's giving you life. It's a sacrifice, And you're not supposed to prolong an animal's suffering. That's, it's just, no.
That's messed up.
And that's like kind of what was happening in this movie. That's like against what would happen. Okay, I can't say it's not that it's against what would happen in nature because animals eat each other alive. And most animals die by eating.
Better than that.
Yeah, but we're better than an animal. We're supposed to fucking and then you recognize the animal's sacrifice. Thank you for giving life to my family. May your spirit move on and go to the happy hunting ground. You know what I mean? It's that kind of a attitude where you're supposed to have respect for your prey. You're killing the prey not out of pleasure for the kill per se. You're not prolonging it. You're killing the prey to feed your family.
Yeah.
And you have to be selective. It has to be in certain seasons. After reproduction has happened. And you're going after bucks. That way, they're not with child.
Yeah.
You know, that's why all that shit in the Predator, if you watch the Predator series, you know what I mean? All this stuff actually comes from North American hunting traditions, and they came from the American Indians. You know, don't kill does when they're raising young, because that's the future of their species.
Yeah.
You're not trying to hunt them out of extinction. You're just trying to cull some off the top, and so they can live and you can live. That's the idea. So the main prey is males who have already reproduced. You know, so 4-point deers. You know, not so much 2-point, but 4-point or 6-point, because they've been around for 2 or 3 years. They've probably mated. You know, and the does, don't worry about the does, and don't kill the young.
Yeah, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, the males are expendable.
Yeah,
they're not gestating.
Just like in every species.
Just like everything else.
Just teasing.
One male can impregnate a lot of females.
Yeah, they don't need as many.
They don't need as many.
Like females in general in most species are a lot more valuable.
Yeah. You can cut down the fucking you can fucking cut the male population down 3/4, and all those women, all those females will still be pregnant, because that 1/4 that survive will impregnate all those females.
Well, yeah.
So you'll still have a species. And that all has to be factored into conservation. Hunters are the greatest real hunters are the greatest conservationists.
Not like show off ones.
Not show off hunters, not fucking weekend hunters, not weekend warrior type dudes, but dudes that actually understand what conservation is about. Fucking a good famous one would be Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent's big into that. He fucking gives money to fucking ecology and actual organizations that actually help make more creatures, you know what I mean? And you're not trying to hunt them out of extinction, you're trying to make more of them, is what you're trying to do, and eat them, because they're better like that than in a damn concentration camp. You know, like you do with some of the cows. Although the cows, actually, we have cows all over the place, they live a happy life. They're trading off a hard life in the wild for an easy life being protected, and then when they get old enough, they're culled. They're sent to slaughter.
I mean, and around here, like, most people have several acres, so it's not like the cows are, like, in little... I mean, they have, like, a big...
Yeah, they live a normal, easy... They
just walk around.
They live an easy life.
Fields and
they're eating food and they just
sleep under the trees and
yeah.
They seem like they're pretty okay.
Yeah, they're chill. They're chilled out. They're having a good life, and they're trading a good life for that versus a hard life in the wild, running from predators 24/7. They're still going to be eaten. They're prey animals. I don't give a shit about hunting. I think hunting's good as long as it's good. I don't really, I don't like trophy hunting where you're hunting bear and fucking big cat, because those were not evolved to be eaten. Those are the predator animals or the generalists.
Like I said, that's like show-offy kind of.
It's
like,
too show-offy.
Ooh, look, I shot this big mean predator animal.
And they don't.
I have a big dick.
Yeah, and they don't
like that.
They don't reproduce in great numbers the way prey animals do.
Well, yeah.
Prey animals reproduce in great numbers. They're meant to be eaten because the predator animals are eating them. Life has a way of compensating. I'm not gonna go out and shoot a big fucking cat.
Yeah, why would you?
I was like, man,
unless
that's a
you're
cat,
a fucking
bro.
douchebag.
And they go, well, I'm gonna shoot a coyote, dude. That's a dog.
Yeah.
You know, I don't shoot that. I'll shoot deer. You know, rabbits. I'll shoot a squirrel. I shot a lot of squirrels when I realized you got to kill so many of them to get a meal where it's not worth it.
Like, not worth it.
I felt like a damn murderer. I have fucking 30, 40 fucking dead squirrels hanging from me, and then you try to make a stew out of it, and I was like, I only did that once, and I was like, Dad, man, I killed like 30 of these things, and it's not a decent meal. He goes, yeah, there ain't much meat on them. And I stopped killing them. Why would I kill 30 fucking living creatures and only eat one decent meal?
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad about that. I could kill one deer and eat for fucking 2 months. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's an easy choice.
Yeah.
I think. What is the bear? Oh, how does says worst film? A Serbian film.
Yeah, I heard about it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
It's messed up. It didn't. You know what? I know this is gonna make me sound like a huge asshole, but I've watched a lot of horror. I knew what it was about, before I watched it. Like, I knew what was in there. So it didn't it bothered me, but it didn't bother me as much as I thought it was going to, which I'm not really sure what that says about me. It's pretty fucked up, though. And honestly, most people that are into horror, even people that are like hardcore horror people, will be like, yeah, that's like beyond. That's beyond the pale. And I get it. There's shit in there that nobody should put in a fucking movie. It's fake. It's not real. But it's just like still, like just the idea of it is like pretty fucked up. It's a pretty fucked up movie. And I think I said this. Remember, a while back, I reviewed that French movie, Martyrs, which is also pretty fucked up. And I didn't watch that movie for a long time because I was like, I don't know. You have to be in the right kind of mood. You know, it's a vibe. You have to, like, be ready for it to watch that kind of shit. Yes, you know it's fake. Yes, but it's still, it's like shit that, it's like, you know, do you want this, like, rattling around in your brain for the rest of your life? You know, you have to be prepared for that. Martyrs kind of fucked me up. It's pretty fucked up. The whole idea of it is fucked up. And some of the shit they show in there is fucked up. But I've heard, like, a Serbian film is, like, 100 times worse. And, like I said, I didn't find it 100 times worse, but it's bad. It's bad. It's probably the worst thing I've seen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm jaded. It bothered me a lot, but not as much as maybe it would bother a normal person. But that's, I guess, because I've seen so much stuff. You know? I think that's maybe why. But it's fucked up. Don't watch it. Seriously, don't watch it. But yeah.
Cloud City's going on vacation tomorrow. Somewhere up in Norway. But I think he's agreeing with me about Cannibal Holocaust, what I said about the movie. He said, yeah, there's no reason to kill animals for a fucking movie. No.
Yeah, there's no reason.
No.
I don't even, honestly,
not the way they killed them.
I don't even like when they kill animals fake in movies.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they
tugging at your heartstrings.
They do that a lot, and I'm just like, just kill more people in the horror movie. In, like, real splashy ways. That's, like, much better. Don't kill the kitties. Don't kill the puppies. That's just, what are you doing? Yes, I know what you're trying to do. But it's like, that's just fucked up. Don't do that. Just kill more people in movies. I don't care how many people you kill in movies. Like I said, as long as it's not real. But, leave the kitties and puppies alone, even if it's fake.
Yeah.
Because even now, I guess because, you know, because we have cats and stuff like that. So it's like, I have a hard time, like, nowadays. Every time I see a cat turn up in a movie, I'm like, oh, no.
They go to kill the cat. Yeah.
They don't always. Like, I will say, one movie that I reviewed recently, The Rule of Jenny Penn, which was a New Zealand film, which was actually really, really good. And there was a cat in that, and the whole time, like, there was a fist in my stomach. I was like, oh my God, what is going to happen to this poor cat? Because, like, a couple of the scenes, I was just like, oh shit. Like, something bad's going to happen to the cat. But nothing bad happens to the cat. Spoiler alert. So I was like, oh, thank God. Thank you for not doing anything fucked up to the cat. The cat is fine. But, you know, now it's just like every time I see a cat or a dog in a horror movie, I'm like, oh no. You know? Like, stop it. Like I said, just kill more people. You kill children in the horror movie. That's fine. I don't care about that.
Because you know that's fake.
Yeah. Leave the cats and dogs alone. Come on now. Yeah, Tanya said, Serbian film is dumb and edgelord, but it was political, they say. That's what they say. I'm not sure I buy that explanation, but I can kind of see where they're coming from. I see where they're coming from, but I don't know. I'm not from there, so I don't really know, like, the context, but I don't know. I did kind of get that edgelord vibe from it, though, because we're going to make the worst fucking shit ever, which, to their credit, they did succeed.
Yeah.
Because every single fucking list of, hey, horror movies, don't ever fucking watch this because it's the worst thing ever, has that movie on it. For good reason.
Well, I can understand that if somebody goes, like, I'm going to make a horror movie, it's going to be the worst one ever. And then you're challenging yourself. Well, what do we have to do?
Yeah, it's like, they have to cross, like, every fucking taboo, which they did.
I can understand that. As long as they're not killing people or animals to get it done, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's fantasy.
Yeah.
You're just making shit up. I haven't seen Serbian film. But
don't watch it.
Is it bad?
Don't watch it.
Is it real? Nothing real happens in it.
No.
Yeah.
But it's
a mind fuck.
It's shit you don't want in your
What
head,
happens in the
head.
movie? What kind of thing? What kind of
I don't
movie
even want.
you don't want to talk about?
Go read the fucking Wikipedia like synopsis. It's pretty bad.
What's it have? Killing children, eating people,
Everything, every single thing you can think of,
everything
is in there.
Okay, well, it might
pretty much.
It might be a triumph of the fucking fucking human imagination when it comes to cinema. But the thing is that goes way back, because evidently the French were doing that live on stage back in the 1800s, trying to trip you out as much as you could. With like these magic tricks that would make you think they cut somebody's eyes out.
Yeah, Grand Guignol.
All kinds of stuff. So,
well, the French have a long tradition.
As long as it's fake, there's something to be said about it, then it's respectable.
And I will say that in the 2000s, the French in particular, and since we were just talking about Martyrs, that's also a French movie.
Yeah.
The French were known for, there was a little boomlet in what they called, quote unquote, New French Extremity, where the French were making some fucked up movies.
Yeah.
Like way more fucked up than anything like the US, where it's like Martyrs, Inside.
Well, the French
like that.
The French are extremists.
Yeah.
Fucking bitches.
So it's
They're known for
so
that.
sometimes like the US would be like, hey, look at this cute movie I have with cannibalism, and the French are like,
step aside, bitch. Watch this.
What? And people are like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, it's a smaller nation. They're less restricted, so they can come up with it. The problem with the French is when they make these movies, they're in French. So we never see them. Because those bitches do not...
I see them.
They don't bend to the global market like, well, we're going to put it out in English. Because English is kind of like...
Well, to
the
them,
international language, everybody knows English.
Film is an art form.
Yeah, they're going to go, no, our shit is French.
And like I said, they don't... And yeah, they respect their own culture, and they're just kind of like, yeah, we're not going to like submit to...
When we were kids,
I respect that.
When we were kids, the international language was French. It wasn't English. Back in the 70s. It slowly became English, and when the internet came in, it's English. Most of the really good internet is English. You know, fucking now you got the Japanese, they kind of have their own internet. It's all in Japanese stuff and their own applications. And the Chinese, they're behind a firewall. The Indians are doing their own thing. But fucking in the main, if you want to experience the internet in 360 degrees and full color, you better speak English.
Which a lot of French people do, actually.
Yeah, which a lot of people do. Europe speaks English pretty much. They have their own languages, but they understand it. They go to school in it. We went to school in Spanish and French.
Yeah,
I learned Portuguese.
Well, I took Spanish in elementary school.
Yeah.
And then in high school, I took French.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of it, but...
I lived in Brazil when I was in high school, partially. And fucking... I'm fluent in Portuguese. But I understand Spanish. Castilian Spanish. Mexican Spanish a little bit. It depends on the context. But Mexico isn't just Spanish. They have Nahuatl, which is like a fucking Indian language. A lot of them speak that. So it's trip, you know. But the entire American continent, North, Central, and South, fucking I'm at home in all these countries. I can go to any of them and have a good time. You know, I love Brazil, Chile, Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina. I've been to all of them in the South, pretty much. Well, all the big ones, you know. I love Chile, Santiago, fucking Montevideo. I fucking loved it. São Paulo. That's where I lived there for fucking 4 or 5 years. I like South America. Central America, I can convert. It's similar. It's similar. Got a lot of friends there. You know, online friends. North America, it's just the American continents are all a very unique, very special place, and I enjoy it. Even though, you know, me and Jen, and even a lot of Hispanics, you know, because it's just Spanish Empire, the American Empire, we're all kind of rooted in Europe, you know, a European kind of way. Although we reinterpreted it differently for this. Like that Klaus in there up in Norway, I'm sure he could probably come here. He'd have a great time, you know. And when I was in high school in Brazil, you know. Fucking went to high school with a lot of guys from Sweden and a few from Norway, but most of the guys from Sweden working for a Swedish company named, what was the name of it? Scania is the company that they worked for. Their dads worked for it. Used to party with the Swedish guys quite a bit. The Swedish girls, man, they were fucking no. I don't want to get involved in that, but fucking the Swedish guys, like, fucking quite cool. And I don't know, man. Just the world has its own thing going. Let me go to the restroom. You want another drink?
Yeah. Klaus says Tony is a movie you two would really like.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Write that shit down.
I'm gonna write it down. Like I said, otherwise I will forget. Tanya Marie says Martyrs is really good in my opinion. It's awful, but it's also good. Yeah, that's kind of where I was at too. Like, it took me, like I said, a long time to get around because I was just never in the mood to watch it. But when I saw it, I was like, man, that is a fucking masterpiece, and I don't think I ever want to watch it ever again. You know what I mean? It was one of those guys. Which, like I said, fair play. That's what you want a horror movie to do. You want a horror movie that's fucking horrifying. That's what it's supposed to do. And that movie totally, that I'm like, that is one of the most fucked up things I've ever seen. I'm not going to watch it again, but it was fucking amazing. You know? But, oh man, I was going to say something else. What was the other one? I know Inside was fucked up too. That was another New French Extremity movie that everybody kind of talked about, the woman, like, cutting out the baby out of the pregnant woman. But man, what was the other one? Oh, Irreversible. I did a review on that one too. That one wasn't quite as bad, but it did have one of the worst rape scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
That's the end of the grapefruit.
Oh, okay. Oh, we drank that whole fucking
but I gotta let it out of the soda.
It had one of the in the way that it was like excruciating, because I have a hard time like watching rape scenes in movies, and especially if they're real prolonged like that. I'm like, man, that was messed up. That was like a hard time. I had a hard time watching that. But that scene and the scene where they bashed the dude's head in with the fucking fire extinguisher, holy crap, that was like fucked up too. But that was also good. I did a review of that one too. But I haven't done Inside yet, but I should probably get around to doing that. I need to do more New French. I've seen a lot of them. I just haven't like reviewed them. Like I said, today I was kind of bored because it's like, you know, it's a holiday in the US, so I didn't have like much work to do, and I kind of was caught up on everything, so I was like, well shit, man, like I'm just kind of dicking around, like not really doing much of anything. And Shudder had just added like a whole bunch of like new, like old vampire movies, and so I finally got around to watching Fascination from 1979, the John Rowland, or however you say his name. That movie, which I thought I'd seen before. I started watching it, I'm like, I thought I saw this movie, but then I was watching it, I'm like, maybe I didn't see this movie. I must have been thinking of like some other movie. It's kind of like your standard French 70s vampire, like Eurotrash. Like there's a really lot of like nudity and sex in it, lots of lesbian stuff, which like I like that. So you know what I mean? I was like, all right, I'm into this. It's very art house. So
What
it was
movie
like
is this we're talking about?
Fascination.
I haven't seen
I
it.
just watched it today. I thought I'd seen it for some reason, but I was like, man, I don't think I've seen this though. I must have been thinking of some other movie, but some other 70s vampire movie. But this one's kind of like, they're not technically vampires in the sense they're like supernatural. They're more like a vampire cult. They're just like regular ass people that got into like drinking people's blood like for erotic things. But like I said, there's a lot of hot European naked ladies, and there's some naked dudes in there too. I don't think they don't show any dick though, do they? It's mostly just like naked dude ass.
Tanya Marie says there's a website called
DoesTheDogDie.com. Yeah,
I think you might check it
that's
out.
That's a good website. If you want to know like before you see the movie. Because like I said, I've gotten a lot less sensitive about some stuff, but about cats and dogs dying in movies, I've got more sensitive about that.
Yeah. And then Tanya says, Tom, you don't want to know. I don't really
Probably
know
about a Serbian film.
Yeah, I don't know.
DVD Dragon said, tell Tom that a Serbian film involves a porn star on trend. Enough said. That's a pretty good description.
Sounds good. Okay, I might like it.
Are you into baby rape? Because
somebody rapes a baby? No, there can't be a whole movie about baby rape.
well, the whole movie isn't about that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it.
Tom said, "Tom, trust me, you don't want to know, but I don't know what she."
Nobody should see it. Like I said, I think she was talking about a Serbian film.
Yeah, because I don't know what.
But see, the thing about it is that the second like a horror fan says you don't want to see it, that's like most people take that as a challenge. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to see it now.
Classes asked me if I went to Sweden. No, I didn't go to Sweden. When I was in Brazil, going to high school in Brazil in an international high school. Some of the students I hung out with were from Sweden. Okay, and because their fathers were there in Brazil selling trucks, and they were making trucks for the Brazilians, and they worked for Scania. Okay, I hung out with some of the dudes. They had girls there too. They were fucking pretty, man, but they were fucking crazy. And all the Swedish guys were going out with Brazilian girls in those days, and all the Swedish girls were single. It was a fucking, oh man. But that was that high school I went to. I went to a really famous high school in São Paulo, Brazil called Escola Graduada de São Paulo. It was fucking very expensive, and you had a lot of rich Brazilians that went there, and international students that went there. It was a good high school. I went to that high school, and I also went to Trenton High School, which Gramthers and I went to that high school. He's sometimes in the comment section. He's an ex-policeman. Was on there. A friend of mine, we were in the drama program together. But I actually, instead of doing 4 years of high school, I did 5. Because my Brazilian high school would not accept my American credits.
They're like, we're not taking any credits from your dumbass country.
Because the Brazilian high school was an international baccalaureate high school.
So they were way ahead, probably.
Yeah, right. So when I got out of high school, I already had the equivalent of like some college by the American standards. So
High Desert says, is it a porno? If you're asking me about Fascination, it's not a porno. But like a lot of European horror movies from the 70s, particularly French ones, it's kind of smutty. Like that was kind of one of the... It's a horror movie. They're vampires. It's a vampire cult. But, I mean, it's mostly an excuse to, like, show just, like, a bunch of naked ladies making out with each other. And various other things. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it. But, like I said, it's very art house. So it's kind of, like, slow-moving a bit. But it's not super long. I think it was only, like, 80 minutes. I can't believe it took me that long to see it, though.
Everybody must be watching fireworks because, fucking, most people have left.
I can hear the fireworks.
Yeah,
it finally
fireworks
got dark here. I don't really care though. I've seen fireworks.
Give me
High Desert said, "I wish I had eye bleach after seeing that shit movie." I'm assuming he's talking about a Serbian film.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those movies that it's like, I wouldn't advise.
Get some ice.
I don't know. I'm not one of those. Like, I like to watch stuff like that if I'm in the right headspace. And like I said, especially if somebody says, "Oh my god, this is the worst thing ever," I'm like, no, I kind of want to see it. Like, I'll probably regret it, but I kind of want to see it just like out of curiosity.
There's no ice.
Which is one of the reasons that I watched that.
Yeah.
Was I sorry I watched it? No, but there's shit in there you can't unsee. So
it can't be that bad. Is it that bad?
It's pretty bad.
Really?
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
Like I said, it turns up on every single, like, don't watch this horror movie list for a reason.
Yeah.
But, and I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty jaded. Like, shit'll bother me, but it's just, like, it doesn't bother me probably as much as it would bother a normal person. Because I've seen so many of them. And like I said, it's fake. It's, you know, it's not real. But it's just kind of, like, still, just the idea of it, I'm just kind of like, you know, you're kind of wondering, like, what are the motives of the people that made this fucking movie? It's like, they can't be fucking wholesome.
So we're gonna watch Tony, right?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Okay.
I don't what year is it from? Because that'll help me find it. If I just Google Tony, that's not gonna like bring anything up.
You're right.
So.
Yeah, what year are we talking?
So I'm not sure. Is it old? Is it new? Is it? I mean, I'm assuming it's probably fairly old.
What kind of movie is it? Horror?
I hope so. But yeah, I've heard of that site. Does the dog die? Does it do cats too, or just dogs? I think it does cats also. Like any animal that dies. You know what? One of the things that bothered me, as far as animals dying, and again specifically in Italian movies, was a Dario Argento movie. What fucking movie was it? It was one of his slightly later ones. Like I want to say like late 80s. I can't remember what one it was. But it was one where one of the kids like smushes a toke gecko like in his hand, and like he drops it and it's like, and that really and I think they did it for real. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it looked pretty real because I had a toke gecko for a pet like for a while. And so that I couldn't watch that movie for like a long fucking time because of that. Because I don't know if it was real or not, but it looked fucking real to me.
You shouldn't kill animals for entertainment. No. There's a couple of movies.
There's no reason.
There's a couple of movies where even it was just insects, and I'm like, they really shouldn't be doing it. Like in Alice, Sweet Alice, she's torturing some cockroaches. I fucking hate cockroaches. I'd fucking squirt the shit out of them. But torturing that cockroaches for a movie, there's something kind of like,
oh my god,
remember she was throwing the fucking fire on them and shit like that, and I love that movie. It's a great movie.
I do too. I mean, Alice, Sweet Alice is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I know that's just cockroaches, they're vermin and everything, but this is a movie. You know what I mean? You're not really
like don't do it for that. Like any kind of like living thing. Right. I don't care how small it is.
Right. Because a movie's for human entertainment, and now you're killing,
and that's kind of
killing an animal, even an insect, for human entertainment.
Do you remember, like you remember that fucking movie from the 70s, Kingdom of the Spiders?
Yeah,
with the Shat,
William Shatner.
I
liked the movie.
I really dug that movie from the 70s. I watched it recently again because Riff Tracks did it.
Yeah,
and I was kind of like, oh man, I haven't seen this movie forever. This will be hilarious. I had forgotten how they squish like a bunch of real tarantulas, and I'm like, but stop it! What are you doing?
Yeah, stepping on real tarantulas.
Oh my god!
Fucking, and you're like, this is for human entertainment, and you're
leave those babies. I like spiders.
You're like, the tarantula's probably worth $20, but that's a little living creature. Come on, and it's not food. You're not eating it. You're not getting anything out of it. I remember that. And here's the thing: I also remember hearing. I heard this a long time ago. That the guy who had leased the spiders out was a spider lover, and they assured him, and that they assured them that no spiders would be harmed.
I'm gonna look that up because.
And then when it turned out the spiders were missing, they just paid him more money. And he's like, "What happened to those other spiders?
What happened to Martha?"
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. What happened to those spiders? There was a bunch of, and they were like banana spiders. The banana spiders. They're like a big, colorful.
Yeah.
Tarantula.
They're cool, actually. I quite like spiders. I don't get why people are grossed out by them.
I think they're fucking creepy.
No, I like them.
But evidently, tarantulas evidently make good pets, which I wouldn't think so. But fucking, they say that they get used to people and they're.
Yeah, you can pet them and all kinds of stuff. You can pet
them, but I wouldn't.
They're all fuzzy and cute.
I wouldn't, but it's not really my thing. But
I don't mind them. I like them.
Yeah, I wouldn't really fuck with no tarantulas, man. Fucking.
I don't like cockroaches. I will say that. But other than that, I'm not grossed out by bugs or nothing like that. Other than cockroaches. Cockroaches can fuck right off. But other than that, I like spiders. I actually don't mind spiders at all. They don't gross me out. They don't creep me out.
High Desert's asking us, by the way, if we've seen the trailer for Weapons. It looks very intriguing. No, I
haven't seen it.
No. Tell us more about it.
Oh, he says the movie Tony was 2009. So I wrote that down.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, and not only Kingdom of the Spiders, and I think I talked about this because I think I did this over my Scare Salon channel, but I talked about the movie Food of the Gods.
Oh yeah.
And they fucked up some real rats. Shot the rats and drowned some of the rats.
They were shooting rats in slow motion with BB guns and fucking drowning them.
And I had forgotten that because I hadn't seen it for many years, and then I watched it. I did this whole big video. I did Food of the Gods and Empire of the Ants, which were both Bird Eye Gordon in the 70s. And so I did this big video talking about both of those, and I had forgotten in Food of the Gods, they really did that.
Yeah.
To like and I was like not on board.
Yeah.
I like rats too. I don't. That's fucked up.
Here's the thing. They weren't killing wild rats that have infested your house. They were killing domestic
These are ones that were brought to the
that were
set.
brought there, and you're like, come on, man, you're gonna kill the rats for the pleasure of the movie, and I'm
They're just
watching
drowning them and stuff, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I had a hard time watching it.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that from the 70s. Maybe we were like a lot more like I don't really think
The mentality back then was like, well, those are vermin.
whatever.
So you
but
can
like
do
I
it.
said, no, man, rats are like super intelligent.
Yeah.
Yes, I know they're vermin. Yes, I know they get into, but like that's also a living creature. Okay, so it's like let's not. Oh my God, Shudder just added some 70s eco horror. They put Orca on there. I might have to review Orca. I haven't seen that in a long time. I remember I used to love that movie. I'm sure there's probably some fucked up animal shit in there too. The 70s did not give a crap
Aleta's
about animals.
Aleta is just talking to me right now, showing off her fucking pet turkey. And
She's got a pet turkey?
Yeah, it's a
What's
baby,
its name?
it's
What's
a
its
baby
name?
pet turkey. She didn't tell me. But I just is that a chicken? And she goes, no, it's a turkey.
What's his name?
I don't know. But
That's
I said, why don't you come out to Barbarella's tomorrow? Because those bitches haven't been to Barbarella's yet.
No, they
At
haven't.
the Axe Trap. And they're not banned from there.
That we know of.
Well, they banned from all other shit with the sexual escapades that they do. But fucking,
Well, they were banned from. Well, he
Yeah.
was banned from.
He
the
was
other
banned.
place.
Yeah, not her.
Every now and then.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not her. Well, no, because they came to when it was at the pickleball place.
Yeah.
Nobody kicked them out.
Yeah.
Okay, so High Desert says Weapons is by the same guy that did Barbarian. Ooh. All right. I'm going to write that down then.
Yeah.
Because, man, Tom hasn't seen Barbarian yet. I love
Yeah.
fucking...
She keeps
I
talking
love
about
Barbarian.
Barbarian. I want to see it.
I don't know if you'll like it as much as I liked it.
Everybody say you told me I would probably like it, so I probably
God,
will.
I was so...
I want to
love
see
Barbarian. It was so fucking good. But it's one of those movies where you can't be like... Because you know how you do when we watch movies? You're always just kind of, well, who's this? What's happening now? Like, I'm just like, just relax. Barbarian is one of those movies where you just have to like sit and watch it. Because I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. You will not guess. It goes off in all kind of crazy directions. Like halfway through, like it seems like a completely different movie. And you just have to like, just roll with it. Okay? So I'm just telling you that like right now. Because I know how you do. You like to know what this shit's about beforehand.
It's called The Axe Trap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And Barbarian is not like that. Barbarian is one of those movies where it's like, it's better to know nothing about it going in and then just watch it. Don't worry about it. Yes, this seems like a different movie now. Just sit back and relax. Everything will be explained. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of movies. You just have to kind of fucking chill out. But I thought it was fucking great. I thought it was so good. I reviewed it on my other series. Yeah, Heather says starts with a mystery. Every kid in the classroom except one ran away from home at the exact time. Oh, I did see that trailer. I know. I just didn't remember what the name of the movie was. Witchcraft hints. Looks almost like a remake of Village of the Damned. See, yeah, I remember now. I just didn't remember what the name of the movie was, but I remember seeing that trailer. That did look really good. Zach is talking about spiders. If they weren't so ugly, I wouldn't be anywhere scared of them as much as I am. I get that people are like, I don't...
They're
people
spooky looking, man.
They're
but,
not.
But I still got to... I kill spiders if they're in the house.
I don't. If I
But a
see
big
one in my
ass-
bathroom,
Yeah.
I scoop them with my hands. I'm like, don't
I
let
kill
Tom see you. And I take him outside.
But I know
if
that
Tom sees you, he's going to squish you.
Yeah, but I know the difference between a big old expensive tarantula. You know what I mean? Fucking that's kind of a different story. I know it's all spiders, but
I think they're cool as shit. I think they're cool.
No, just I'm not gonna fucking smush a big old fucking tarantula.
Why would you?
Yeah,
I mean, even
I'm gonna
even
catch
if,
it and get rid of it.
Even if you didn't like spiders, that's like that's like stepping on like a mouse.
Yeah, it's too big.
Why would you do? That's so fucking gross. Like, why? I wouldn't do that either. Obviously,
Yeah.
because mice are adorable, but it's just kind of like,
Yeah,
it's big.
yeah.
Oh my god.
And people fucking pay money for them, and they're fucking make pets out of them. I mean, it's not my thing, but I could understand it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think they're cool as shit.
I ain't gonna fuck with something like that though.
And like some of the
I'll
little,
just let it outside.
some of the little spiders that have those little bitty faces and like the little arms that go like that are like super super cute. Come on,
Yeah,
they're super cute. Klaus says there's no animal that isn't awesome. They're all us other than cockroaches. I do not like cockroaches.
Yeah.
Fuck
and
cockroaches.
even them, I don't believe in killing them for a movie.
I wouldn't kill them, although
There's something kind of moral for me. I'll kill them to get them out of my house. Fucking, I'll wipe them bitches out. But if you're gonna like kill them for entertainment, I'm just not into that spirit. You know what I mean?
And honestly, even if I have to kill it in the house, I still feel kind of bad.
I don't. Not roaches.
Well, roaches no.
No roaches.
But I will note though.
Yeah.
Remember Creep Show?
Yeah.
Remember the fifth story in Creep Show?
Yeah.
Where the dude like had all the roaches and stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty sure not all of those roaches survived.
No, of course not.
But I don't feel too bad about it because man, they didn't have CGI back then.
Yeah.
That was all real fucking roaches.
So Weapons is the same guy that did Barbarian. I haven't seen Barbarian either.
I should show it to I'd be curious.
So I gotta see that.
I'd be curious if you were as into it as I am. But like I said, it's one of those movies where you just kind of have to. You can't like be like, what's going on or what's it. Just fucking relax and watch it.
All right.
I
gotta be in the proper mindset for
it. Yeah. Because I know how you do. You kind of like movies that are like, well, I have to know what it's about or I have to know what's going on like from the jump. It's like no, it's not like that. You have to kind of.
When you first saw that movie, you told me I would like it. So
I thought you might, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, look at the fucking movies that you weren't sure I was gonna like. I loved fucking Art of Self-Defense.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna hate that.
No, I loved it.
But the whole time I was watching it in the theater, I'm like, oh my god, Thomas Blake, he's gonna hate this. I don't know. It's hard to. As long as I've known Tom, a long time, I still can't accurately predict what movies he's gonna like or not. I know what movies I'm gonna like usually. Sometimes shit'll surprise me. But sometimes I think, man, he'll love this movie. And then I watch it and he's just like, meh, or he hates it. And then sometimes I think, man, he's going to hate this shit. Look at this. And then he watches it and then he loves it. It's like, I don't get it. It's just all over the place. So I don't know. There's no telling. So I'm kind of reluctant to show him Barbarian because I fucking loved it. I thought it was so good. But it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It could go either way. He could either like think that's the best movie ever, or he could totally hate it, and I'm not really sure how it's gonna go. You know. Yeah, Haida says unfortunately Werner Herzog got a bunch of rats killed while making Nosferatu. That does not surprise me in the slightest. Like I said, I'm not. Well, hi. Pookie just rubbed against my foot. I just felt fur. And I was like, what you doing? Well, hi. What you doing? Daddy will come pick you up in a second. Haida says, I like tarantulas, but black widows freak me out. I don't know why. Well, yeah, I mean, they're venomous, so that's something. I've seen them in real life. They are pretty common in this area. Never been bitten by one. My brother was once bitten by a brown recluse, however, in his knee, and it didn't go well. He got blood poisoning because he didn't go to a doctor in time. I mean, he was younger. He was out hiking, and I think he didn't realize what happened. And the crazy thing was that the spider bit him, and then you could see where the poison was going up his veins. Like you could see, like when you looked at his thigh, you could see where the poison was going up, and they were like, okay, well, if that gets to your heart, you're gonna die. So he finally did go to the doctor. They had to give him a cane, and like he had to walk with that cane for a while, because I remember me and him, this was a long time ago, but like we went to go see Bad Religion. I think we went to go see Bad Religion. And
Pookie, what are you doing? Leave Spock alone.
She loves Spock.
Yeah, leave Spock alone, Pookie.
But and his leg was all fucked up.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a Black Widow, that was a brown recluse. We have a lot of those here too. But You gotta watch in Florida. We got like a lot of venomous spiders and a lot of venomous snakes also. 4 different kinds of venomous snakes. So don't fuck around is all I'm saying. But I don't think you should just like fucking squish them or kill them or nothing like that. They have just as much right to be here as you do. Just don't fuck with them. Most of them won't bite you if you don't fuck with them. Snakes especially. Everybody I know that's been bitten by a snake happened when they were trying to kill and or catch said snake. You know? Which if you just fucking leave them alone, won't happen. High Desert says, hi, Pookie. Yeah, she just... Yeah. I was here talking and like all of a sudden I felt like a little fuzz like on my leg. And I was like, who is that? I wasn't sure if it was Pookie or Bambi. Bambi's probably still hiding under the bed because of all the firework noise. She doesn't like it. Pookie doesn't care though. She's been through a lot of 4th of Julys and she's just like, nah, it's fine. It's outside. It's outside. Klaus says, I gotta go. I'm really sleepy.
Yeah. We're
Take
gonna
care,
shut it down
Tom.
too.
Yeah, it's past.
It's getting late. We're gonna get something to eat.
You want to get something to eat?
Yeah, we can get something to eat. Go ahead and shut it down, Jim.
All right. So I guess we're gonna shut it down for the evening. If you're in the United States, have a happy 4th of July. At least what's left of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad everybody dropped by and hung out with us this Friday evening.
See you.
Like I said, this is kind of my favorite show to do.
Yep.
In the week. We'll be back on
club night.
Tomorrow night's club night.
Yep.
Hopefully we survive through the weekend. And we have some good stories to tell on Monday. We'll be back on Monday for a movie review. We might do... Okay, I'm going to look up this Tony movie and see what that's all about. However, Tammy and a couple other people did request that we do Boondock Saints, so we might do that instead. But I'm not sure. We might just pick a random-ass movie. Who knows? We don't know. Because like I said, we usually do the movie... We usually pick it on Sunday night, and so it depends on like whatever mood we're in. But I don't know. So don't think of like whatever movie we're gonna pick. I don't know what we're gonna pick. So, but we'll be back for Monday for a movie review, and it'll be fun. So have a good rest of your evening, you guys. Have a good weekend, and we will see you guys again on Monday night. Good night.